Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community. This is Monday morning Reinventing Drawing Group with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Networks. We do this every Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard, so if you're beaming in from the West Coast, it's wicked early. Thank you very much. Europe, you have it easy. In any event, this is an open draw group, so if you are creating artwork or interested in joining the Zoom call, you need to get the link from the community. Excuse me. Now we can't send, if you're watching on Facebook or the YouTube or wherever, we can't get you the links that way because then the spammers will get a hold of it and whatnot. So go to either of the app stores, download the Reinventing the Tattoo app, and go to the events section, and you'll see the first event that's going to be there is going to be this one. And you'll have two links. Don't click the watch show because then you'll be watching the show. You want to click the artists zoom in, and it'll open up your Zoom calls and stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in joining, click the buttons. If you're just watching a replay, catch us Monday mornings at 9 o'clock. The goal of the Reinventing the Tattoo community is to get everybody together, tattooers, collectors, apprentices, and even the curious, to learn more about art, learn about different styles, to inspire each other, and ultimately, to get better tattoos. Let's see. If no matter where you're watching this from, the main place to always find the source of the videos will be the Reinventing the Tattoo community app that I talked about, or community.reinventingthetattoo.com, or go to the brand new Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel. And so please go there, subscribe, share that around, because it is literally brand new, and you probably haven't heard us. You're not sick of us saying like, share, and subscribe because we haven't said it a ton because we just started it up. So anyways, Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel. Let's see, other upcoming events of note. This March 9th, we have two awesome events. One, if you speak Spanish, Hablamos de Arte. Oh man, I'm sorry. Bruno
just quit
is hosting.
trying that.
I know I should learn how to do it, right? Bruno does an awesome job bringing together a really amazing set of painters. So whether you speak Spanish or not, it's amazing to watch. And if you speak Spanish, it's great. If you're learning, it's cool. We also have some community members who used the Google Translate to kind of keep up. And I don't know, I couldn't figure it out, but they have the audio going into their phone, and then the phone translates it, so they're actually keeping up. Anyways, so that's, I believe, 9 o'clock on Tuesday, March 9th. And then at 8 o'clock, an hour earlier, we're starting Drunk Critique, co-hosted with Tony Ramel and Bob Tyrell. Let's see, Sean Barber, Ivana, Jen Little, Thea Duskin, maybe Jake, a couple other people will rope in last minute. Anyways, Drunk Critique, It's Crazy will not be the 9-hour epic that is in the library. It'll be a 3-hour short and sweet Drunk Critique. And okay, let's see. Oh, and then the big one, and I'm going to show a video just before we start the show. We've got on the 20th, save the date, March 20th. It's a Equinox Festival, virtual Equinox Festival. Host a paint party and zoom in to this mega art Zoom, and we will have Android Jones doing live visuals for everyone's inspiration. So get yourself projectors or big screen TVs. And Aja Lu is going to be playing live music. He's going to be doing a live score. So yeah, you'll definitely want to make sure that you are available March 20th at 8 o'clock. And if you go to reinventingthetattoo.com/equinox, EQUINOX, I keep spelling it correctly, amazingly. Anyways, if you go to that link, you could register. It's free registration, but we do need to, or we're going to catch your email ahead of time. And then, okay, quick shout out to our sponsors, and we'll talk a little bit more about them throughout the show and then later. We've got inkjetstencils.com, so you can treat your tattoo reference in your iPad or your computer, and then you print out the stencil from an eco-friendly printer. It's pretty amazing. You can actually get oversized printers and print out back pieces and shit. Inkjetstencils.com. They also have, all of our sponsors have spots inside of our community. Loose Screw Tattoo is an amazing tattoo shop. You should go there to get tattooed if you're in the Richmond area. But they are currently hiring residents. And if you're watching this far in the future, I'm sure they're still looking for someone exactly like you. If you are awesome, you can do black and gray tattoos, color tattoos. They're a busy shop. So, bring your great attitude so that all of the business they're going to be supplying you goes away happy to come back with their friends. Full-on, there's great options. Dental, health, paid vacation, 401k, it's full on legit. if you want to buy houses and have like a family and have a real awesome career. I mean, even if you're wild and crazy, it still actually helps just to have the taxes taken out so you don't have to worry about that shit. Anyways, we also have Raw Pigments, ink company that is, I think, taps right into the source of the prime of the pigments. So you can, well, definitely check them out. They've got some awesome artists that are using their inks, and obviously the work always speaks for itself. So that's rawpigments.co, I believe. If you do a search for Raw Pigments, and very soon we're going to have their virtual booth up in our community. And then lastly, of course, courses.reinventingthetattoo.com for your tattooer or apprentice professional development online needs. All sorts of courses, including Guy Aitchison's Canon, which is also includes, it's not only like his book that turned into an online resource with a whole mess of videos. Now it's a full multimedia online course with brand new technologies. He's been going through and editing it quite a bit, so it's all up to date. And yeah, that's the beauty of doing these things online instead of the book. Everyone keeps telling me they want the book. I'm like, there's an online subscription. He updates it like all the time. It stays up to date. The book is literally the book is it's just a little old. And they're like, but I want to use it, but I got 2 copies stolen. And I'm just like, well, if you got 2 copies stolen, maybe the online. Hey, it's all good. Point being, check out the subscription, courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. We do also want to shout out some of our affiliates, in this case, Fireside Tattoo Network, which is a great podcast and YouTube channel. And we will be obviously talking about that more because Jake is actually hosting this show here. Okay, that's the intro. Well, we started a little late, but I keep it going on. Please let us know in the chat room where you're beaming in from, how it's working for you, and if you have any inspirations that we should be looking up. We'll have a browser in the background that we could fire up, as well as if you have any questions about tattoos. If you have, we could do impromptu, vague consultations. I mean, we can't do consultations, but like if you have questions about tattoos, write them in, and we'll go from there. So I think that is it from me, and I appreciate the time everyone takes. Okay, it's on. I don't even control. I'm not controlling this. Take it away, Jake.
Hey, what's up? Am I on? All right, I'm on now. Looks like. Let me get my desktop only here for a second. It looks like I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Looks like
you are frozen.
Sorry, I'm wrong.
Welcome
there
to the
we go.
image of Jake.
There we go. Look at me. Let's see what's happening. I assume you can hear me okay. Let me pull Zoom up and see what's up here. It looks like it's...
Lauren, if you want to go to gallery mode so that...
Yeah.
You're almost back.
Am I? I just minimized it. I'm going to pull the meeting up here and see if I can stop and restart the video. Let's see. Full size.
You know what? Actually, Lauren, go back to me full time. I forgot to play the fucking video.
You have a video?
Yeah, I've got a video.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so this is the video for the March 20th, 8 p.m. Reinventing the Tattoo Spring Equinox Festival. Okay, so yes, that is going to be a very fun time. You are encouraged to safely throw an art jam party, and Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. Also, I do want to
That's
make sure
cool.
that in our script, we're always supposed to be highlighting some of our previous episodes or streams because we have now 5 to 7 live streams going out. So we want to make sure we're always reminding people of all the great stuff. In any event, we've got the tent talks. I've got actually some of the old memorabilia here. You could check out the Tent Talks happen every other Sunday with Rob from the 815 from Rockford, Illinois. He's got Milton Zeiss's old tattooing tent, carnival tattoo tent, with tons of memorabilia there. So yeah, so go check out the some of those episodes. They had Matt Steins on a couple of weeks ago, who's been tattooing in the Chicago area forever, and then Kurt Windisch was on, and there was another guest. His name slips me, but anyways, it was a great episode. Okay, so now.
All right, am I back? Does it look like? No, not really.
Can't tell if Lauren, if we go to gallery mode, then we can see.
I can always. Let me just switch over to for now while I say hi and everything. Let me just switch over to my regular desktop and away from OBS. See if maybe it looks like I'm moving fine on my OBS, but it's just the Zoom that looks like it's a little slow. So let's see if that maybe I can go to.
Well, this is a great time to catch up with Morag from Scotland.
Yeah, what's up, Morag? How are you?
Hi. Well,
that's an even better.
Hi.
What are you working on today?
I've picked up this painting again because I'd abandoned it for a while.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just struggle with the likeness so much and it just kills you. So I had to just focus on something else for a while. But I'm back on it.
Yeah, it's looking beautiful. I love it. Do you know, there's a painter that reminds me so much of this guy. I don't know where he's out of. James Patterson, maybe with one T. Gabe, can you pull him up on Instagram? I think it's James. Let's see if I can tell. Just something about just a little bit that I can see of that reminds me of James Patterson.
Oh, I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, let me see if let me make sure.
From 1854 to 1932.
No, he's newer than that. He's like alive right now as we speak. I hope. We're Instagram friends. I've never actually met him. Let me pull him up on my phone, make sure I got that right. James, not Haynes. James
_ Patterson. Got him.
Got him. Yeah. See, if you go back to some of his pinup, those types of things. He does these pinups with kind of abstract backgrounds. I actually haven't looked at his page in a little while. See some of these like pinups and stuff. Those really nice.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So he uses a lot of chunky shapes and stuff like that, and like pulls his background into his foreground. I don't know why. Just at first glance, your piece reminded me of his.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. I like quite refined areas and then chunky bits that go backwards and forwards, and over the subject and behind it. And I love these drips that he's got there.
Yeah. I think he does a great job with that.
Yeah. Love it. Was he using acrylics? Do you know?
Yeah, I think he's using acrylics. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I've only met him or talked to him through Instagram a time or two, and I forget how I was introduced to him, or if maybe he found me. I honestly can't remember, but I've only talked to him a time or two, but I do remember him say it was all acrylic and fluid acrylic. I
like that he calls himself contemporary portraiture because it's hard not to make portraits look kind of like from 100 years ago, because I don't know, they maybe just set the bar quite high then and everyone feels they need to live up to it. So this is really refreshing to see something a little bit looser and lively.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. You haven't looked at these in a while. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So skill.
Yeah. So what I can only see a small piece of yours. How much can we not see there?
Okay, let me just see if I can. So I'm still at the blocking in stage.
Oh yeah.
So she's
beautiful.
You can see the tiny reference material that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem at the moment. The picture is just from Instagram and or Facebook or something, so it's not very good to work from. And initially I thought that would be a bonus because I could, use it just to kind of be quite loose with it. But actually, it's really hard to find the likeness when your reference material is so crappy. So
Yeah.
I know this girl well. She's a good friend of mine, and I thought, oh, I'll just make it up because I'll feel it when it's right, because I'll go, right, I've nailed it. But actually, I'm just going around in circles and getting frustrated. So
Yeah.
good reference material is important.
It is. I've tried that exact. I've gone through that exact thought process before, thinking, "Oh, I'll use the low res image because it's what I have, and it will allow me to have more freedom, and I'll see the simple shapes, which is great for the first 10 minutes, and then you're like, well, all right, now I need more information."
Now I'm looking for the eyelid and the nostrils and so on, and I'm not finding it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's that does make it tough. I've luckily, with tattooing, I rarely have to have it look exactly like anything, so it's not as big a deal. But still, you want to be able to zoom in and see like temperature changes and shadows and things like that.
Yes.
You can't see any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's the beauty of doing just a generic face, unless you're doing a specific portrait of somebody's child or something like that. Then you need really good reference material. I've made that mistake with tattoos before when someone wants a memorial tattoo and it's of their granny and she's on holiday in Ibiza and she's had a few drinks and it's with a flashlight and but she looks happy, and you tell them, this is a terrible picture, I can't work from that, and they go, oh, I don't have any other pictures and I like this picture because she looks happy, and you feel bad, so you start doing it and then it's a car crash. So that's always been my biggest issue with tattooing portraits or trying to get a likeness in, well, really in anything, but specifically in tattooing, the odds are so stacked against you, I feel like, because you're going with usually limited photo reference. I mean, sometimes they have a lot of photo reference and you can choose, but a lot of times the client wants a specific, expression. They're like, I love this photo. And then that photo just doesn't translate. Maybe it's not lit strongly enough to work as a tattoo or something. And then I always think, well, that photo may or may not even look that much like that person. I think about how often I see a photo of myself and I'm like, that doesn't even look like me or my kid or whoever else. And so you've got that against you, and then you're taking it and you're wrapping it on an imperfect surface where even the flattest part of the body isn't flat really. So then you have the challenge of the subtle shifts in it only takes an eye to drop, that much, or a nose just to shift that much, and it doesn't look at all like the person anymore. It just seems like such an uphill battle to me that I just have never wanted to get into it. But I mean, some people do it beautifully, or tons of people do it beautifully, which is great. That's why I don't have to do it. Yes, I've moved away from that as well. I love portraiture, love it in my spare time when I can mess around with it. But the pressure of doing it as a tattoo, it's too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see. I'm gonna give it another shot here. Let me see if I can pull up and show you guys what I have, what my project is for this week. I've got.
You're much smoother.
Am I good? Well, that's because I was on just the regular camera. I wasn't going through OBS. I'm hoping this doesn't mess it up too much. Okay, so all right, I got it on iPad large. Let me try and just see if I can.
While you're doing that, we've got Mike saying hello from Oxford, Mass. Gwendolyn says hello from the Netherlands. Tony Saruga says good stuff. Fire. Speaking of Fireside, let me talk. I'll talk for a second about Fireside when I'm pulling this stuff up. I know I say this stuff all the time. You guys probably don't even believe me anymore, but I did the best series this last week that I hope is going to start this week. I sat down for, no joke, probably 3 hours or more with Carson Hill from Numa. And we went through and just talked about we didn't do it as a Numa ad at all, but we talked about, I think, every variable in tattoo machines from I can't even tell you all that we went over. So much stuff, and we're trying to break it down into these 10 and 15-minute episodes, which is going to be the challenge. That's why I say I hope it comes out this week. But we went back to coils, why rotaries. We talked a little bit about the original Numa 2, how it kind of kicked off the kind of rotary craze, what rotaries were really trying to do, what the natural limitations of rotaries are,
what the natural advantages of coils are, and and then I mean everything from like what machine should I buy first as a beginner? What are the most forgiving machines? What is give in a rotary and what is give in a coil? And Carson's he's really a thoughtful, like intelligent guy when it comes to all that kind of stuff. He doesn't pretend to know everything, but he's more than willing to like just explore ideas. And it was so good. Now I learned so much, but now I have, like I said, 3+ hours of content to try to crop down into 15-minute episodes. So that's what I'm doing today, sitting right here in this chair and working on that. But anyways, hopefully we get one out this week. If not, next week. I think everyone should check it out. It'll be super informative.
Awesome.
Am I pulled up? Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. So this
is. But
Lauren,
could you spotlight him?
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so this is my project, and I actually lined this. Let me pull it up on the actual person. This was my original drawing. It's 3 ravens, 2 black and 1 white is what the client wanted, and it's the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. So I used this kind of what's going to be like a red ribbon going over the eyes of one, over the beak of one, and over the ear, or where the ear I think would be on a raven of the other, and then let me see. Let me pull up what she had. All right, so this was the original. Oh, let me pull up. Sorry, I'm trying to edit this a little bit. There we go. All right, so this is the. She had several tattoos in the way, and the challenge is we wanted this top raven, the one that's going up on her neck, to be the white one. And you can see if I show her, and this is really desaturated. It's all, her tattoos are super dark. It just doesn't look like it. All that stuff is dark. I've just got it dropped back in opacity. But so that was my challenge, and that's what I came up with to cover it. And then she is a tattooer out of the Oregon area. So she came and we worked back-to-back days about a year ago, and then she's here for back-to-back days this week. And we're going to start color. I'll show you how far I got. Let's see. So that was after the lining, the first day. And you can kind of see what some of my challenges are going to be. And then she just sent me this to show what it looks like complete. So the next day, all I did was I came in with enough black to knock back the edges, just to give myself a little bit of a head start. I went through and just knocked back the edges of that stuff to try to get the shape of the bird a little bit. And this is what it looks like a year. She sent me this like last week. So this is what it looks like a year healed. And so my challenge for the next 2 days, tomorrow and the next day, are to go through and try to get all of my black work in there and knock this cover up back a little bit more. But you can see how dark the cover up really is. I mean, the stuff is in there, especially with this top raven being white. And then I've got this bird up in the, this bird up in the corner here. Sorry, that I'm trying to cover. Where's my, let me see if I can pull up so I can highlight what I think the biggest challenges are here. Here we go. I think that this guy right here is really one of my big challenges. I'm hoping that another thing is I've got the head of the bird right here that I need highlights in, and I've got all that black line work in there. So that's kind of a challenge. I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm going to make it work.
It's tricky because you've got the black birds as well, and then so much cover up.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, because both of these birds, like this one and this one, are black, and I've got the cover up here, so it gives me a lot of dark to kind of deal with. So today I'm just going to go through and try to, or this morning I'm going to try to go through and just block in my basic shades. And I've got the added challenge of working on her 2 days in a row. So yeah. That's always a little bit tricky. I guess I'll work on one half, tomorrow, and another half the next day. So, but yeah, that's my challenge.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, but I mean, you've solved most of the challenges already, haven't you? I mean, it's not as if you've left yourself with too many huge problems to solve, just minor ones.
Yeah, I think it's all pretty manageable. Just getting the layout the way that the way that I wanted it, I think was the key. And and it did. It sat really, you know, you can tell in the, you know, it sat really nicely. About the best, because I didn't necessarily want to stack the heads on top of each other. I hate for things to be like in a perfect row, but that was just the easiest kind of placement. I definitely wanted this bottom raven kind of like dipped down like that. She had this existing piece down on her belly that I don't know what the plan is with it, but she said she didn't mind if I went into it a little bit. So my bird will kind of drop over the top of that wolf, or I guess it's a wolf. But yeah, so most of the problems were solved, I think, compositionally, but now it's just a matter of like saturating over that. And she wants it mostly black and gray, with that bright red underneath it. I'm gonna have to tint. I'm gonna use opaque grays, and kind of tint it, you know, towards more towards magenta or more towards blue. But I'll just have a warm and a cool kind of side of it, I think, because there's no way I'll be able to knock out all of those reds otherwise.
No.
Yeah. So.
I love the way the wing goes up the neck. I wish there was a picture of that.
Oh, thanks. I have one somewhere. Actually, I have. Let me see if I can pull up on my desktop and switch over to it. I've got a full video of it that I think. Let me pull up my Instagram on my desktop. Or wait, I guess I could do that just as easily right here, couldn't I? Instagram on this thing.
We do have Eric is in the room.
Oh, what's up, Eric? How are you?
The mic and camera are off, and Patrick just beamed in. He's connecting.
Well, I'm walking on the fireside. What's up, Patrick and Eric? How are you guys? Oh, Patrick, you're on mute.
Yeah, no, I'm with you now. Yeah, we're okay.
Good, man.
The United Kingdom, well, England anyway, they've got a start date back for April the 12th. So fingers crossed we might be getting
back to work. Nice.
Work.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, no, it is good news.
Yeah.
Whether it actually happens or not, we don't know. Because they've sort of messed us around in the past, so we should wait and see.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully so. That'd be awesome. I think we're all kind of back to work here. As far as I know, everyone is here around town. Here you go. Can you guys see this? Sorry, I just pulled that up.
Nice.
Yeah, so I do like how it sits up on her neck. Sorry to stop while I had this pulled up. Yeah, I thought
that's gorgeous.
It sits really well on her. Thanks. Okay, I'll go back. Well, Patrick, what have you been doing to stay busy? You've been working on some drawings. Anything you want to show off?
Yeah. I'll hang about. I'll just get the camera sorted and then forgotten how to do this.
Eric is going incognito today. He doesn't want to be seen or heard.
A true lurker, not just lurking in the.
No, I'm here, man.
He's here.
There you go.
No, I'm trying to figure out this mini cam that Jay told me to get.
Oh yeah, I had the same issue. I paid for the unlimited $170 version of it before I realized that it doesn't work well for me.
Yeah, actually, I got it on sale. It was only like $82 or something for the unlimited.
Oh, nice.
But it's still, I mean, I don't know whether I have to log into my MacBook to Zoom to this meeting to do that, or if I do it.
Yes. So you go from your. So basically, you're going to Zoom from whatever device has the ManyCam on it, which is probably your computer. So you zoom from your, and what happens is the ManyCam on your computer will then connect to the to the camera that's on your computer, and then it'll also connect directly to your iPad. All the cameras will connect to ManyCam.
Yeah.
And then you want to go virtual camera out on ManyCam, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right. I switched. I'm using OBS now, although it seems like it's freezing up a little bit from time to time. But but Minicam froze up worse on me for some reason. I haven't gotten it to work yet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten many to work. OBS and Wirecast work pretty good for me, but then I find myself fucking just going back. I hate this Zoom, but it's like Zoom just fucking
Right.
connects
So you
people
gotta-
together easy. But Eric, one quick thing: if you could turn the camera that's looking at your iPad, if you could turn it sideways so that we get the full picture of it. Right now, it's or if you can.
maybe my mount won't let me turn it sideways.
Don't worry about it then. Oh, there you go. That might work.
Is that better?
Not yet. Patrick has his drawing up. It looks like if you want to switch over there while Eric figures that part out.
Hey, Eric, it's all good. However it works is going to work perfect.
You guys want to switch back over to Patrick's feed? He's got his drawing up.
There you go.
There, sweet. There you are.
Cool.
So this is for the Reinventing drawing group.
Okay.
So a combination of like moss covered stones, some battered old wood, and then with medieval gauntlet. Yeah, so that worked out. It was quite good fun actually.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we've had to sort of, some of the subject matters have been pretty things that sort of not familiar with us in the UK. So for instance, we don't get bobcats in the UK, so that was like well, okay, I have to use my imagination on this one. But fortunately, moss we've got a lot of, and things that rot in wet weather is not a problem. So that's the thingamajig, and we if I get rid of all these other layers, that one, and put that one on. So there's the gauntlet, and get rid of that, and that.
Okay.
Opacity.
Is this reference? This is reference that you took.
That's yeah. So basically just sort of put it all together from that. So mossy bank in the woods, and then just sort of built. If I put the gauntlet on top of, just sort of built the gauntlet on top of that, and then.
Did you just draw that over, or is that some type of an overlay?
We were given. What were we given? It's on somewhere in here. There you go. Yeah, that's what we were given.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's basically, so I just sort of drew it on. I mean, fortunately, it's really nicely. Really, really clear presentation. And because it's made to fit the hand, then sort of drawing it onto something like that is relatively straightforward. Sort of chunking it down, where the knuckles are, where the fingers are, and all that. And that worked out really well.
Yeah. So what was the total? Like you were given that. What was the criteria of the assignment as a whole?
Okay, so we did, and we were looking at like earth tones. I can't remember, naturalistic colors. I think that was it.
Okay.
So we had that, the gauntlet with all the sort of grays and copper. There was the mossy stones, and then there was also some rotting wood, which I haven't actually got on me. And then we sort of imported on Procreate, changed the wood, and then so you got that, and then that became the palette there. I was going to stick some sort of
that's great.
Foreground, midground, background.
Yeah, love it. I like that assignment a lot too. That color palette reminds me. There's a Andy Chambers introduced me to this Instagram page called like Cinema. You guys may already know it. It pulls still shots from like famous or from movies, and it pulls the color palette and drops it at the bottom. Let's see what it's called. Super cool. Cinema color palette.cinema. That's it. Super cool little like page, color palette.cinema on Instagram, and it'll show like the still from the movie. Gabe, Lauren or one of you guys, can you pull that up? Or I can probably pull it up on my iPad if you want to switch over to me.
Who's going to do that? Do you want to do that because you know the name and right off, or you can tell me, I'll catch it right now.
I can do it. If you want to switch back over to me, I'll pull up Instagram. It just reminded me of the color palette. Cinema. All right, you have it pulled up there. See, isn't it cool? It's like their whole. They'll grab colors from different scenes. I don't know. I thought it'd be a fun kind of tattoo tool. You know, you could design palettes from this.
You know, you definitely can. Alex DePasse has the Palette Pro app, which will do something like this for.
Yeah, you sent me that, and I haven't looked to see if what they've done with it, but I thought of that as soon as Andy showed me this.
Yeah, I mean, it maps basically these colors here to the specific inks.
I think Bear uses that software too. Bear Paints uses a similar software where you can upload your photos and do a 4-part color palette match.
Oh, okay. Huh.
These are cool.
Yeah, that's I think that's super helpful. It gives you some ideas, like a lot of these color palettes you would never think of. The one thing that I remember, and Gabe, I remember you telling me that they were going to address it when you sent me the early version of that of Alex DePasse's app. It's cool how it identifies the colors, but it's pulling colors that that most people don't own. It pulled all these it'd be cool if you could simplify it to a more basic palette, because I would click on it and it would show the colors.
You could load in the colors that you have now, and it'll try to match it to those too. Yeah, they've updated it a bit.
Yeah.
If you guys ever had a liquid sample, I could get a perfect color match anytime.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And tattoo inks?
A liquid sample of anything we can match with a tattoo ink.
Wow. That's with
raw pigments.
Raw pigments? Okay.
Yep.
Huh.
That's cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a few artists based on, just what they've sent us, and we'll go back and forth. But yeah, it only takes a few days to do that.
Yeah. And I might get with you on that. I've been kind of playing with this idea. I was actually a year or two ago talking to Sean from Spirit S8 about this. About creating art, but they're not doing anything like that. They don't even make inks. We were just talking about it. But about a simplified palette that would be a really great teaching palette for people before they start to build, and but using a painter's palette of a light, medium, dark, or kind of a warm, medium, cool of just primaries, and then a couple of grays that you can basically use to and then I've got videos or Fireside has videos that kind of help you go through a series of questions that you ask yourself whenever you're actually applying it, and saying is this lighter, darker, lighter, greener, bluer? And so using the educational content along with the simplified palette, I think would be super helpful. Cool.
Right on. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
So we have a couple other people that have joined. Allie's in the room with mic and camera off.
Okay.
We also have, let's see, so Roger says hello from the Philippines.
Hello. That's awesome. We always have people from faraway places.
Caroline Evans says good morning. I think she's down in New Jersey. Melissa Sink says morning all.
Good morning, Melissa. Why isn't she zooming in? It's too early for her.
Yeah, she might be at some point. Usually it's a cup of coffee or two. Let's see. Sugar Waters is drawing from Detroit, Michigan. Frank Bob Tattoo says drawing and smoking. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks for the inspiration. Jordan Jones says thanks for the show, you guys. And Atomic Injections 47 is from Marietta, Georgia. Chopping up some photos, thinking about tattooing on myself today, since I don't have anything booked.
Tattoo it on yourself. I haven't done that in a long time. And I probably won't, but I think it's a good idea. Whenever you're trying to figure stuff out, solve problems. So who else is actually on the, let's see, yeah, some new people jumped on the actual call. I can't see names though. Everyone's got to jump in and introduce himself. For whatever reason, the names all disappeared on my thumbnail screen. Someone's got to help me with that. I see new faces, but I don't see any names to go with the new faces.
So let's do a round. Allie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Allie.
Hey, Allie.
Hi, Allie.
I'm come from
Hi, Allie.
Alabama,
From where?
and today I was just working on something that I will eventually hope to do on my sister, who's in
Oh.
North Carolina.
Oh, sweet. And you said you're where in Alabama?
In Alabama, yeah. I'm
Oh,
about
okay.
25 miles south of Birmingham.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I spent plenty of time down there. Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, we do the I go to Huntsville a little bit. We do that Huntsville Space City show each year, which is Huntsville's a really cool town. And
Yeah,
then,
it is.
yeah, and then I've got a couple of friends in Alabama tattooing. Euless Blair and Florence. How far is Florence from you? Is that a long way?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Well, cool. So where are you thinking? You said you're drawing that for your sister?
Yeah, she's thinking about doing like an over the shoulder piece.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about placing this maybe shoulder cap area for his head, and then kind of coming down her arm a little bit,
Hmm.
going to her back and her front area.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
I'm stuck right now in a color palette.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
y'all were talking about palettes. I was just thinking, I need a good inspiration for palettes. So I'm gonna have to check out that cinema thing you were talking about.
That thing is cool. It really is. I like it a lot. Yeah. I always go through first and just block out values. I think if you solve all of the light source problems on the front end and get all your black and gray in there, it's to me it makes it so much less intimidating, because I feel like once you solve the value issues, you can go anywhere with color and you can't really mess up. The only way that I mess up still with color is that I end up with colors that are either too saturated or too rich in my highlights. I think that's the one place that, like, once I've really nailed down all of my values, sometimes I'll think a color that's going in a highlight is lighter in value than it is, and then when you start laying it in, you realize that it flattens the image out because it's too like rich or too saturated or something like that. That's the only time in color that I feel like that I run into trouble, that I have to put extra thought into it, But yeah, typically
color palettes can be tricky.
yeah. Have you thought about what your background and stuff is going to be in that? Are you going to use?
I haven't gotten there yet. I was kind of bouncing between that and the exercise that we have.
Oh yeah, that's cool too. Oh, that's great.
It was really tough to transition from the images we were given into something that fit. So I kind of just tried to go with this bioorganic sort of concept. And it's my first time doing that. So I'm learning. It's a learning process.
Yeah, you definitely pulled some guy influence there.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a cool. I need to jump in on. I say it each time. I need to jump in on those assignments. They're always great ideas. Who's coming up with all the ideas for these assignments? Gabe, is it Guy or did?
Yeah, it's for the most part it's Guy, and then Sandy, and he's got some help and whatnot. But it's Guy pulling from the canon, and it's pretty crazy. You definitely got to do it. It's religiously every Monday at 9:00.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see. I end up, I stream this in the mornings, and I'm often streaming Sunday nights. So usually I'm like, awake for about 10 minutes after it starts and it's going, and I'm
And then
like,
they're out.
Okay. But and then I wake up at 11 o'clock and everyone's like, that was great.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see everybody, taking it seriously, and they do their best, and then you can see, and follow through in their artwork. A couple weeks later they're doing stuff a little better, and yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see what happens like 2 or 3 years of having a growing crew of people just do this stuff every week, like clockwork.
Yeah. The cool thing about it is that people will get so much better, and you'll kind of watch people evolve as it. It's funny. I like we've been doing Fireside for 8 or 9 years now, and I know tattooers who are so good, so much better than me that I meet at shows and stuff that'll talk about how they like had bad mentorships and came up learning through Fireside. It's like, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously a lot of these people would have been awesome no matter what, but it's just crazy to think that you had some kind of impact on someone who turned out to be so awesome.
Yeah, Jake, I was talking to an artist yesterday in Texas who mentioned you and how impactful you had been in his life.
Oh, really? That's
Art of
awesome.
MRAD. He's a fantastic tattooer and artist. I was really happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's all, man. It's so cool. It's like it's mind blowing, really. But I think it's just consistency. You just get out there and do something long enough that people start to pay attention to it, and then they take, they take from it a lot of times stuff that you never even intended. And in our case, and I'm sure the same way it will be as Reinventing, with the Reinventing groups continuing to go. It's not anything that I taught anyone necessarily. It's just me asking questions and people sharing ideas, and you stumble onto to all these solutions to people's problems. It's rarely me doing it. It's mostly people that I'm talking to.
I think sometimes you don't need to be a mile ahead. A step ahead is perfect.
Yeah. Something that I took a workshop from Kerry Dunn, and he learned directly from Nelson Shanks. I don't know if you guys know Nelson Shanks. He's painted presidents and stuff, but he died a while back. But he started Studio in Caminati, and he was famous for saying he wanted the student who started on Monday to be key in like assisting the student that started on Friday, because he felt like they were closer to the problem. And that always made a lot of sense to me. I think a lot of times if you've been tattooing for 20 years and you're trying to mentor someone, you don't recognize a lot of the things that they're struggling with. You're so far past a lot of the very basic, mark making stuff that it's hard to kind of meet them where they are.
Yeah, that really is one of Guy's somewhat unique visions. I mean, obviously lots of people are playing, but like he really is into the community and to people sharing with each other, to collaborate with each other. And to your point, like, the gathering, for me, the tattoo gatherings, are the space where we can get the widest, the largest amount and widest variety of people, but who are all kind of pushing in the same direction and thinking somewhat, you don't get out to Jiminy Peak by accident, you're not sitting there looking for, your random stuff. Right. And I remember definitely freaking out the second year of the tattoo convention, or maybe it was the third, like whichever, it was either the year, maybe it was the second year. So like Guy came the second year, and Bob came the second year, and Sean Barber came the second year. And then like the third year, I was like, how the fuck do we do this again? Like, how do we keep people's experiences to, because the first couple of years of the show, to your point, like it's really amazing when people are like, this changed my life. I went back and I fired 3 people. I went back and I, got 2 jobs, or, whatever it is that they found their, hit. And trying to figure out how to keep that experience growing, like, so somebody's coming to the gathering 5 years in a row. How do we keep delivering an experience that's like that? And then I realized after drinking heavily for like 6 months, I was like, wait a minute, it's them. It's all the people that create the experience. Like all I have to do is invite people and not be an asshole, so they keep showing up. And they do the magic with each other. And it never really was about me. I knew it wasn't about me. It's not the kind of guy I am. But I don't even have to have that. That pressure is. That's how I can off it a little bit sometimes. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
But
I think that's exactly right, and it goes in every. You and I have had plenty of these kind of conversations over the years, and I've told you about the strategic coach group that I'm a part of, and it's just a bunch of entrepreneurs that get together, and there's coaching material. There's someone that leads us each quarter, but we all spend a lot of money on it. We all fly to Toronto 4 times a year. We all sit down in the same room, not because of the content or because of the coach, but because of the other people sitting in the room that have the exact same kind of mindset and that are interested in like how you solve the problem that you were talking about last quarter. That's what I keep going back for, is that group of people, not the actual program itself. The program just provides that platform, and that does take some of the pressure off for sure. Knowing that that once the ball gets rolling, it becomes easier. Well, let's shoot. It's already almost 9 o'clock. Let's roll through real quickly. Who else has drawings? Eric, were you able? Eric, it looks like you were able to figure out your mini cam. Can we roll through and see what everyone's working on real quickly? I only have like 6 or 7 minutes left. Anyone? Everyone? Somebody?
Eric, can you hear us? You're muted right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. What are you working on?
A lady wants it sucks because it's for tomorrow. I had a long weekend. So she wants essentially her sitting up somewhere up in here on the top of her shoulder, and then she wants to incorporate essentially these wings with a clock with a certain date. And what else did she say? Well, she said something else, but I haven't.
I haven't started to block it out yet.
Yeah, just blocking it out. Yeah.
So how do you, at this early stage, what do you normally do to start blocking it out? Do you drop in her actual reference and start to organize it, or you just start to draw out your own shapes? Or
I look at what like this one. This is just what she referenced. She wants this. I'm probably going to switch up these a little bit, but she really fell in love with the face. So I don't really want to stray too far away from that face. But no, actually, in this one, I just look at. Well, she sent me a picture of what she has. Thankfully, it's an open arm, which is really uncommon for me. I don't do open skin very often. But no, she's for right here. I just look at what she's wanting. 100% can't really change too much, which would be this, and then I pretty much make the rest of the tattoo kind of go with this. Patch it in where I think it's going to look good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Find out what parts can't wrap, distort wrapping like the clocks and stuff like that. Put them on flat parts and skin if I can do it. So pretty much the easy part is she wants the wings. The wings can go anywhere, and they intersect really nice. They bend over the body really well. The clock, even like this one, is a little bit big, and I just don't like the way they look when they're wrapping. So, but other than that, you know.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about having things like wings when you're working with something that depends on being geometric, like a clock. You can intercept it and keep from showing the entire.
Well, she wants. She also wants Roman numerals. That's the other thing she wanted. So actually, I could add the Roman numerals from where her. So from where her. Where the part is I can't really change, so actually I'll probably bring it down into here. I mean, I could probably break that with the Roman numerals that she wants, and then go ahead and maybe bring the wings up into here, and then the clock further down in here.
Yeah, she wants Roman numerals not in the clock, just like separately on their own.
Separately, yeah. She wants like it's a date.
Okay.
So she wants the time in the clock, and then she wants the Roman numerals in here. I know it's separating the two, but I've always liked straight lines. I think it gives a solid break between two tattoos, so you don't have to like use background to bring them together. Just hard lines. It stands out more. I kind of like it. So we'll see how it looks, and if it doesn't, well, I have to do it tomorrow.
It's got to come together. That's the great thing about procrastination is when you finally get on it, you have to finish it out. Yeah,
no, actually, I have been like a lot with the cameras and stuff like that, trying to set up. And dude, I'm on like the 8th prototype of my own boom arm that I've been making.
Oh, really? We're like kindred spirits. I have the same problem constantly. I need to be drawing, but I'm screwing with my technical setup.
Dude, So there's some welding that I did for the boom arm, and
Oh yeah.
it doesn't work. That's my third prototype right there. Sucks. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I'm not welding or building any of them, but I'm constantly rearranging and changing these setups. I'm working now on one for my tattoo studio. I want a really nice 3-camera setup that has like 3 cameras, like what I'm using right now, where I've got nice shallow depth of field and great light. But I want a straight overhead of the tattoo. I want a wide shot of me tattooing, and I want one over my inks, which I've got. I can do that. But what I also want to do is be able to start and stop all of them simultaneously, so that they timestamp, so that whenever I pull them in, they all actually go together. And it's not these random stop and start times because this camera stopped recording at 20 minutes and this one recorded for an hour, and you know what I mean? And so that's where I am right now, trying to figure out how to make all that stuff work. I've got a real problem with.
are you patching it in through your computer? Are you going to be?
No, what I've been doing, I would love to pull them all to one hard drive, one folder, so that I can just drop them right into my computer. But right now they're all recording on separate SD cards, which is why I end up, I'm trying to simplify my process so that I can do technique videos more easily, because what I end up with are all of these SD cards that have random footage. And by the time I finish tattooing for 7 or 8 hours, I don't want to dump the footage and organize it, so it just sits on the camera.
And you lose it.
And I lose it. Yeah, I mean, I'll find it and I'll be like, I don't even know why I was recording this. I'll see it months later and I'm like, I'll just dump this. I don't know why I even have it. And
I was thinking if you're going to be running, like I have like my phone here, I have like the M50 right here, which is what I'm essentially going to be doing is, I had a boom arm. I don't know if you can see the beam of my shop right here. I had a boom arm going over and it worked, but the more I use it, the more I'm like, dude, this ring company's gonna fucking rip me a new ass. If this fucking boom arm drops on a client, you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, that's the idea. So I'm mounting it off my table here to bring it up. But anyway, so the point I was saying was they have programs that you can go in and create simplified where you hit one button and it does 3 features. I just don't know how you would patch it into like, well, this I'm using many cams. But they do make it with a trigger for all 3. And I was watching it on YouTube because I'm interested in that, like electronic, and stuff like that. I'm just slow.
There's a piece of hardware that Black Magic makes called the ATEM Mini Pro, and it's like a patcher. It's for live streaming and stuff. It's a hardware that you plug like up to 8 or 9 cameras in. But they have one version that records and live streams, which I don't live stream outside of, this is the only live streaming that we do. Otherwise, I want to pull it all in and edit it. But the version that can record each feed separately is like $500 more than the version that just records whatever the single feed that you're kind of like clipping in and out, which if I'm tattooing, I won't be clipping things in and out. I need it to record all the feeds at once. So anyway, that has nothing to do with drawing. That's like a whole different live stream, I'm sure. But still, it's where just like you, it's where my mind seems to live these days, like how to more efficiently make videos.
This seems like this is a drawing. I see everybody up on top and stuff, but I come here for like last week with Gabe, Town and Jay saying about, like learning more about everything is business. It's gone from when I started. We had, if you were in a shop unless you had Cherry Creek and you know what I mean? Like just the lick me, stick me fucking shits all over the wall. That's where I came from, and drawing in the back room and stuff like that. To this I'm getting new to. And actually, I only started recently doing this since the beginning of COVID, like a month before COVID kind of hit here in New York, which was in early March. And now I have a few other artists. One of my good companions, he's going to be hopping on too and be drawing. If he can get in with Sunday or maybe Monday morning with you guys, because we actually draw back and forth all the time. He's a good kid. Get better. I look at your setup, I'm like, oh my goodness. My wife gets pissed off because like I spent like $2,000 in camera equipment. You know what I mean? Trying to emulate your guys' setup. I don't. You can see like a light box in the back and.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed, man.
I know. preaching to the choir. I'm with you on all that. Well, let's. I'm just about at my time. Who else do we have that we haven't talked to? Gabe or
Melissa popped in after her
cool.
coffee.
Sweet. What's up, Melissa? What are you working on today? I don't see her yet.
Hey guys, I
Hey.
am behind schedule on
Oh, I
class
do
stuff
see.
because I've been super slammed. So I'm trying to finish up last week's final. And I have this tendency to forget exactly how long dry media takes to do. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm probably like 15 hours or so into just the shade work.
Nice. It's
The
looking
dog
great
ate her
so far.
homework.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
looking
don't
great
miss
so far.
questions.
It's I'm trying to see it. It took me a second to focus in on it because it's sideways for me, but yeah. Yeah, it's oh yeah, beautiful.
That looks
I
nice.
remember, yeah, I saw Jason working on similar drawings. So this was an assignment from a week or two ago, and this one was some kind of architecture and the rose. And what was the assignment on this one? I forget.
The Gothic architecture, the roses, and then a cherub.
Yeah, that was great. I like nice job on pushing the wing and the rose, separating them with value and those heavier kind of edges on the wing. That's one thing that when you have when you end up with things that are similarly sized and they're both really textured, they end up kind of falling in together. You did a nice job separating those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wish I were finished with it and on to this week's stuff.
Yeah. Well, takes time. I tuned in. I always miss them, but I tuned in for just a couple of minutes on Tim Bedron's live stream. If you guys don't follow Only the Dead, or what is it? Only the Dead are smiling. Only the Dead are. Do you know what his is, Gabe? Only the Dead are smiling, I think. Anyways, Tim Bedron, one of the best tattooers of all time. And now he does all these pen and inks, and all I see are the finished ones. And I'm like, God, it's crazy how he gets through those so quickly. And then I watched him live stream one, and he was like maybe 20% into it, and he was talking about how he had spent 2 weeks on it so far, and it's maybe the size of your drawing. And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad. Makes me feel so much better. Yeah, Only the Dead are smiling. Yeah, it's that might be the one right there. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's from is it from The Thing? Is that right? It's like
Yeah.
Goodness, look at him. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good to know that takes him weeks to do. I just had this I had it in my head that he just like cranks right through these things. Although
Just
looking
sit
at
down.
him, there's some just sits down and starts going with pen. Yeah, if you guys don't follow that page, you may not want to. It's enough to make you want to.
If you don't like yourself,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he's as good as it gets. There's nobody better at that kind of stuff. Or really at any. I mean, just his ability, like compositionally, the textures that he gets, and everything. I don't know him well, but he used to guest spot at Underground Art where I worked years ago when I first started. I was so nervous to even talk to him because, well, for one thing, he's shy, so he wasn't that easily approachable. But he was so good that I just I didn't want him to accidentally see something I was drawing.
Don't look at it.
Right.
Don't look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before I jump off, who else? Is there anyone else on there that we haven't talked to, or have we seen everyone?
We didn't really hear from Allie, did we?
No.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did.
Cool.
Yeah, we did hear from Allie. Yep.
There's Ricardo in the house
working
too.
on the.
Yeah. I'm here. How you guys doing?
Oh, what's up, Ricardo? Hey, man, how are you?
Not too bad. How's your day today?
Yeah. So, what are you working on?
Working on this week's project for tonight. Hopefully I can get it done. Going kind of stupid with it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Yeah.
Trying to play around with some
yeah.
different colors. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you're going to use the hand kind of holding, as holding the figure. Yeah. It's a different approach.
Taking a selfie in front of a
Nice.
a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
If it didn't happen, if you don't post it on Instagram, it never happened. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So there you go.
Yeah. Sweet.
So I'm struggling with the colors in the background and such, you know what I mean? And then trying to implement the colors that he wanted us to use too. But so trying to establish that foreground and that depth with these muted tones is kind of tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were just talking about with Ali, a lot of times I just try to do it all with value on the front end and then think about the, you know, color as it moves forward. Most of like the really great painters, the people who seem like they solve those kinds of problems the easiest, they'll you know, lay out their shapes and values, and then they start with the background and then, you know, move forward, and they'll just intentionally stay, you know, no high chroma colors in the background, and no super harsh contrast in the background. They'll just stay with more muted and then a little more saturated as they get to midground. And then foreground, that's where they use all their sharpest edges and their strongest, you know, strongest contrast, lights against darks and bold color and all that. And then, you know, once they get it all the way forward, then you can go back and tweak. But that's what, do you guys follow, I'm always throwing random people out, but I think we've talked about him before. Andrew, he's from New Zealand, incredible painter. He's not a tattooer. Oh man, I follow him all the time.
What?
What's his name? Do you know?
What's his last name? White?
No. Andrew. Let's see if I can find him.
Andrew from New Zealand.
Andrew from New Zealand. He has an awesome YouTube channel. I mean, really, really good. What awesome production value. It's Andrew.
Not Tistler?
Tischler. There you go, Andrew Tischler.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got it, Gabe.
Yeah. So if you go through and watch some of his, he does really big landscapes, and watch how he paints from background to foreground. He makes it so, I mean, first off, his explanations are fantastic. He's got great, like, he's really good in front of the camera, and his paintings look like that. So
man, it's incredible.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. Yeah, his YouTube channel is one of my favorite painting channels. His production value is really good. Yeah, we were talking about. So good.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. That's the thing that I struggle with the most, is because coming from a tattoo background and then trying to create art like this or implement it into tattooing, especially trying to, like, now I've been not necessarily trying to eliminate line work in my tattoos, but try to use them more as, like you said, a defining edge. You know what I mean? And then still trying to keep that principle of longevity in mind too. You know what I mean? So it's been a struggle, and I've been trying to, like, pay more attention to stuff like this. And what you said makes perfect sense, as far as the edges are cleaner and crisper, and there's more like intensity and like color, you know, and like chroma. So,
as you move forward. Yeah, absolutely. Take a couple of minutes today and just watch any of his kind of videos of his process. And it's great because he talks about, because he'll start with the cloud, like for this, an example. He starts with the clouds and comes forward, and he talks the whole time about how he's desaturating, you know, more than he thinks he should, and then how he saturates as he comes forward. And then to your point, I'm gonna get out of here, but to your point on lines and edges, Marcus Leonard, I think, is who I've heard say, you know, every line has two edges, and so by its very nature, it's like the highest contrast thing. So you really want to be kind of mindful of how you use it, you know, like how you're using lines that stand alone, and how you should almost, and in Marcus's opinion, you should never use lines that stand alone, that have both edges showing. But if you look at his work, sometimes he does, you know, more his texture or something like that. But I love his thought process when it comes to that, how it's like, you know, he said that our minds, like when we see two edges, you know, we see a line, you know, with two edges, it grabs our attention because it looks like it might be sharp. Am I going to bump into it? Am I going to, you know, like, it just draws our attention to an extreme. So, and that's something that I think every tattooer, myself included, every tattooer can learn from. So that's been the struggle, man. Trying to, like I said, trying to bring that, and then also like the collective luminosity too. You know what I mean? That's another thing that I've been trying to focus on too, is like how that one light source can travel across the main subject matter. You know what I mean? And then how that affects the background and that secondary lighting kind of effect, you know? So that's been one of the things that I've been really trying to focus on lately more than anything else. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right on, man.
Struggle is real. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. That was fun. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Jake, before you
yeah.
head out, Jake, before you head out, man,
Oh yeah.
if you're digging art, you might take a look at this guy named Craig Simpkins.
Oh yeah. Crayola.
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crayola's awesome.
I've followed him for
My
years.
favorite
Yeah.
channel for a long time.
Yeah. He's incredible. Oh, I didn't know he has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he doesn't
Okay.
talk. You just watch his process because you were.
Oh,
It brought up to my mind when he said that he works from the background to the front. I'm like, dude, so
Yeah.
does that guy. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Crayola is it's so crazy how he gets all that atmosphere and stuff, and like especially getting believability out of such a a wide like variety of invented
And acrylic.
imagery and acrylic. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I remember seeing an interview with him, and he was just like, they were asking what he uses. He was like, I just use like acrylic paint and dirty water.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, of course you do. Cool.
He
Yeah.
did a seminar at Paradise probably like 10 years ago now at this point.
Oh, really? Wow. Huh. How did you hook up with him?
Through people. Let's see. Maybe that was he was friends with Brett from Pulse. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's so good. I haven't watched his YouTube channel. I don't think. I'll go through it. Click on it today and go through it. He's really good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here. Go do some
Take it easy, man.
exercising. We'll see you guys
Good to
next
see you.
week. Thanks.
Peace.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Seems
to meet
like
you.
people are still have a little drawing energy in them.
Yeah.
Cool.
How's the weather up north, Gabe?
It is very cold. I'm actually about to take a walk. I'm going to switch over to my phone.
Nice.
It's 30. Well, it's 32 degrees. So
15 here, Gabe. It's 15.
whew.
Dang.
Yeah, it was 17 this morning. I don't mind the cold. I gotta, I don't mind the cold. I just
Yeah, tomorrow's
I walk
supposed to be
regardless.
15 to 60, dude. It's stupid. But you know what? I've been in the north for almost 40 years now, so you
Wow.
kind of have to get used to the bipolarness of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They can literally be like a tundra here sometimes, man. It's terrible.
But that's normal. Oh,
Yeah,
you must
exactly.
get so tired of those puns, huh?
Yeah. Actually, I don't hear them very much because everybody is from here. You know what I mean? So
Got it.
yeah, bring them on. Let's have them.
We'll make it normal.
Yep, you got it, buddy. We'll make it normal. Pretty good.
I mean, you almost have to go to New Zealand just because the story would go.
Yes.
I went from normal to New Zealand.
You got it, man. Exactly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I talked to Steve yesterday. It sounds pretty awesome out there, man.
Yeah, if I would love the opportunity to check out that place. Yeah, and I had a fair amount of meetings with that guy. He did some business consulting and roundtable stuff.
Nice.
Are you
Paper-
able to go? Are you able, Gabe? Are you able to get into New Zealand right now?
I don't know. Actually, that's a question for Ricardo. So no, they're probably not letting anybody in because they don't have the bug there.
Yeah, he had told me. I talked to a gentleman, Steve from Jolly Octopus Tattoo yesterday, and he was telling me that they take it pretty seriously out there. If you do travel out there, you end up having to have the strict 2-week quarantine. You know what I mean? Sometimes up to a month even. And he said at this point you probably wouldn't be able to get in for international travel until like maybe the end of July or so.
Yeah. Now, do the vaccines change that? Is that something where you
That's-
quarantine for 2 weeks unless you get the vaccine, or?
Right. I think so. That's what we're kind of like up in the air about. Like I think everybody's kind of waiting on the vaccine deal, and hopefully by that point in time there'll be a majority of people that will have the vaccine or be vaccinated, and then that'll change everything up. So that's what we're looking forward to.
So
Yeah,
There's
so-
a
when a
there's a
zombie,
tattoo convention there at the end of October that I know we're going to. Gabe, if you want to join in. The
That's
tattoo
Well,
awesome.
is-
I would love to. October is going to be. I'll be at Jiminy Peak, or
Oh,
if I'm not even running an event, I'll be getting it ready.
yeah, so it
But
looks like they're actually, bringing in some people from around at that time, late October.
I think he was saying something about that convention coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
He runs one too. Hey, Lauren, just so you know, when you talk, instead of seeing you, we see a black square.
Oh, that's
But
yeah.
it's okay. Um,
Yeah.
shit was that guy runs a tattoo convention down there in New Zealand too.
Yeah, I think he had mentioned something about that. It was, man, the Skype was kind of choppy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you ended up having to kind of keep asking to repeat yourself and stuff. And it got, to that point where it's like, okay, well, let's try to figure out another way to talk here.
Yeah.
So,
it is on the exact other end of the world, eh?
yeah, it's incredible, man. It's nuts. But yeah.
I had a good time in Australia. I was able to. They didn't give. This was 10 years ago too. They let you walk around barofoot in grocery stores and shit. I was like, yeah.
That's incredible, man. That's awesome.
Although they were definitely down on tattoos. Actually, when Tony Rommel and Nico, we were at an after-hours party for the tattoo convention, and the bouncer came over and told them to stop showing off their tattoos.
What?
I was like, what the fuck? This is the actual after-hours party of the actual tattoo convention. But anyways.
Incredible.
Oh, was that the show that you were just showing for October?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
I don't think I caught that. Would you mind? Where would I find that information at?
I'm gonna actually pull their Instagram up.
Okay, killer. Lauren, I don't think I've met you before. Hello, I'm Ricky. I'm
Hey, how are you doing?
Ricardo. Pretty good.
Yeah, nice to meet you. My
you
camera's
too.
off just because I was having problems with it.
Oh, that's
Nice
fine.
to see everybody else as well. So here we go.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I know a couple people in New Zealand. I don't know if you know Raw Moko Tamor or Norton Hollows. Some of those guys. They told us about it.
Cool.
Puppy
That's
dog.
really nice
Cool.
work.
That should be a good time.
Tattoo.
Why don't you could post it up in the community too?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Cool. I'm gonna switch
Yeah.
over to my my phone, so I'm officially not going to be able to help, but that's okay because I think no one needs any help now. I'm just gonna enjoy.
Cool, man.
And I figure maybe Lauren, how good are you? Do you think maybe maybe a quarter of?
Sure.
Cool. We'll play bigger. Give us another 25-ish minutes.
Okay.
Lauren, I did have a question for you. As far as one of the things that guy brought up yesterday was, have you been down there to New Zealand before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It was really cool because, like, here in the States, we there's all these restaurants that cater to this specialty, like farm to table kind of deal. You know what I mean? But he was telling me that it's pretty much a common thing down there. Like almost any restaurant you go to, it's pretty fresh food, and it's like not an uncommon practice too. So that's another thing that I was kind of like looking forward to visiting while I was down there.
Yeah, definitely.
So where are you guys?
Jason. Jason just joined everybody.
What up? So everybody have a busy day today, and any appointments that you're looking forward to?
Morning, everyone.
What up, dude?
Can't see
Sorry
you
for
yet.
running late. I was up. Ricardo was one of the people that actually joined me earlier in the week. We ended up recording the large scale tattoo design layout video, and I've been going through, and I was up until like 3 last night working on that a little bit more. I'm about halfway finished with the edits and the call outs and like the special effects and stuff like that.
Okay.
Nice.
We had to do something because Ricardo's face was in it, so we had to fix that up somehow.
Just delete the whole thing.
I was kind of afraid that if people saw his face, like they would just be too scared. So, I mean, I know I'm kind of scared every time I see it, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to
I
make
don't
sure
blame
other
you.
people weren't that afraid.
How do you think I feel every time I look in the mirror, man? I'm like, whoa.
I don't know how you do that.
Me neither. It's taking a lifetime.
Baby steps.
Ah.
It's taking a lifetime. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right.
That's
You
good.
know,
You get
like
your
I
coffee
said,
in.
Yeah, got coffee right here.
That's good.
Cheers. And that's
Cheers.
I'm calling this coffee, but you guys don't really know what's in this.
Yeah, there you go. It's
So
5
what's
o'clock
in it?
somewhere.
Might
Right.
be a wee
That's-
bit to the Irish coffee.
There you go.
Jason, that was a shameless Yeti plug right there, just to let you know.
I don't have any logos there. There's no logos, and besides, it's not Yeti.
We know what it is. We know what it is.
It's not. I'm not going to say what the name is, obviously, but it's not Yeti, guaranteed.
That's a terrible. That is a
Ah.
terrible, terrible shameless plug. Mm.
Yeah.
Nothing like sprinkling a little bit Irish whiskey in the coffee in the morning. That's for sure.
I had a friend from Canada who used to do that, and wow, everything, dude, had Bailey's in it. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
And there's a problem with that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. When we have fucking exams in 3 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not good.
I mean, I wouldn't put Bailey's in my beer, but
Well, yeah, no, that doesn't usually taste very good.
I'd put it in my hot chocolate. I'd put it in my tea. I just drink it the way it is. You know, Bailey's, it's a low alcohol content kind of a drink.
I feel like that with Di Serrano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you just want a little something to help take those nerves away, you know.
Like, look, you like me on this. I promise you. You won't like me not on it.
I mean, most people don't like me regardless. So, I mean, you know, if I can add to that to help make them like me, I will. Eric, I love the dual display, man.
Yeah, many cams. I had to go get it.
Yeah, dude, it
Learning.
works so well. You can use your phone, and you've got that nice like front-facing projection.
Yeah, the only other
Spot
thing is, so I mean, I do have the M50, and I bought CamLink, so
Okay.
I'll be doing some live streaming of some of my work as well. Actually, not to do a shameless plug, but actually, I took some really cool pictures with this. The frig is it? Oh, I think it's up there. Actually, you know what? They might be on here. Yeah, I took some pictures for Carson Hill with it, like the Numa.
Nice.
Yeah,
You have the all brass one?
I do have the solid brass and the stainless one, and I'm not gonna lie, I should have rethought about the stainless one. This one's heavier, which I use for lining. I set up as a liner. This one I set up as my color packer shader. Dude, it's man, I must have been for the past several years gotten weak in my hand or something, because dude, slinging around 7 ounces over and over and over again. I need something I can actually back off and not, because this thing hits pretty solid. I'm gonna go with the aluminum one. I'm just gonna buy the body on it. So
Nice.
yeah, it's really cool. I actually did a review on it, haven't posted it yet to YouTube. But dude, it's so hilarious, man. Like the freedom you have, you know what I mean, using a pen style.
Yep.
Especially with that one, how the weight's designed. It's really cool. So actually the other one I have to get is from I've been buying a Russian machine builder, Vlad.
Yeah.
And he has the Ultron. I do want to purchase just to purchase, to piss my wife off.
Yeah, I actually found, so I was on Instagram the other day and I came across these like Russian made wireless machines that run off of batteries, right? They're all inclusive. They're super tiny. If you can think of like a Dan Kubin, right? Where his motor mount is on the side of a machine, right? But then take the forward facing portion of something like a Lance Nano or something, right? So if you mesh those two together, where that motor would be from the Cuban, that's actually the battery. And it's got a little knob on the back top portion of it that you adjust to adjust the speed of the machine. Totally tripped me out, man. I'll have to send you a link to it, but it was like,
Do you know the
what is
Instagram name? I
this?
can pull it up, you guys.
I can try to find it real quick.
Oh, otherwise next time or
Maybe I took a screenshot of it. No. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, I did pick up because I've been trying for several months to get a DK. I've been trying, but every time he posts a thing saying he's gonna release it on this day, I'm only like 2 minutes late sometimes, and they're sold out.
Oh yeah, dude. There are people that wait online for like a good hour before they ever go on sale, knowing when they go on sale, already have them selected and in the cart, and they're just waiting for the right time to hit checkout.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna get one because I've been collecting machines for well over a decade now.
You can never have too many.
No, actually, well, I don't personally think you do. I mean, you don't. I mean, Michelangelo didn't get yelled at because he had too many brushes,
right?
But she does. The other, the significant other, she's like, you really spend a lot of money on things you don't ever use. I'm like, I know, but it's their art. I mean, you're collecting people's hard work, so.
Right. No, I agree, man.
Like I worked at, you ever heard of Deluxe Irons?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of them.
Yeah, so do I. Actually, I worked in his shop about a week ago. Well, it wasn't his shop, it was Tattoo Mary's, but I worked with him and I picked up a machine of his from back in 2009, and I was working with him some years later, and he's like, "Wait a minute, was that one of my?" And he goes, "Do you have the color packer?" I'm no, and I shit you not, dude. That was on a Friday. He shows up Monday with a brand new custom one-off color packer for me.
Nice, man.
Yeah, his pro inlay. Dude, his machines are definitely works of art, man.
Yeah, I was showing this one off the other day. Where'd you go? There you are. So I was kind of showing off a little bit of my machine collection the other day. And talking about Ernie D and Deluxe Irons.
Oh yeah, the brass. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but look at the front standoff.
Where did he mount that to? The front coil?
Front coil.
Yeah, that thing is crazy, dude.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's this is number 2 of 5. I think it says 2 of 5.
So he must have spun his own. I always was gonna ask him if he bought like the T blanks or if he spun his own, laid his own. He must have laid his own to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lays his own, but it all comes down. And I asked him the one time, I'm like, dude, you pour so much love into your machines. It shows, right? You're a true craftsman in that aspect. Like, how do you have the time to come up with these things, right? And he's like, well, it's kind of easy, in the wintertime, I can't really leave my house because it snows too much where I live. So it's just me in my shed with a whole bunch of beer and
Yep.
just sit down and make everything.
Yeah, so he stopped into a shop when I was apprenticing, and he stopped in to sell a couple of his machines to see if he could offload a few of his machines, and that's how I got to talking with him. And so the shop I apprenticed at is in a mall, really busy, high traffic, and the owner of the mall is like, not the mall, but the shop was like, "Hey man, you can come to a guest spot." And he flat out told me there's not too many people. Too many people walk by. He doesn't like it. Yeah. Because he likes to be not a recluse, but he likes the privacy of,
Yeah, he likes to be discreet.
Yep. And yeah, it is a busy place. I mean, not so much anymore, being with COVID. I mean, it's a ghost town in there. But the one thing about Ernie, and I don't know if you knew it or not, like his skin wraps, like this one, I don't know if you can see it. That's real.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And the brother to this one actually has true Confederate money. It's not printing, it's real money that he actually sliced up and made wraps out of.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, he puts some love into his machines for sure.
You put the imp in pimpin'.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I actually was wondering if he was ever gonna. I have to message him, text him or something. I don't know if he's ever gonna get into the rotary game. Like that's.
I mean, when you've invested so much time and love into coils, the question is that where you're really going to move? I mean, it seems to be the way that everyone is moving as far as consistency, as far as, just, just ease of use, so it's like, okay, well, you can start to diversify, you can start to get into knife making, you can start to get into all types of other stuff, which, when you're already set up to make tattoo machines, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you want to stick with that market, or are you trying to go to a different market? Like,
well, actually, quite a few artists in our area, thankfully, have I've been seeing a lot of their Instagrams popping up that they're using coils again. And I've been that one artist who started obviously coils. They did have rotaries back in the day, but it wasn't, the mainstay of it wasn't everyone was using them. And then I tried many rotaries, and I had a hard, obviously like a lot of people had a hard time lining with it. My speed didn't work with a rotary setup. And then, I went back to coils, and then I went back to rotaries, back to coils. And no matter what, my home was still coils, loyal to the coil, that whole thing. And, the past few years, I've been back into the rotaries, and I've picked up a few machines along the way that really sit to hand. A lot of them are sidewinders. With things that have return springs. I found that they actually, they're a little bit, they get out of the skin a little faster for me. So my hand isn't, at that slow speed, but yeah, actually I picked up a machine and I must have already archived it. Nope, it's right there. Yeah, I picked up another Vlad, but his Avenger Sidewinder.
Nice.
I used it 3 times and that's it. Actually, I broke it out the other 2 days ago. Yeah, two days ago on Saturday. Just to try it, because it was like, let me give it a whirl. I loaded it up, used it. I got about that far done with the snake's tail, and I put it back in there and loaded up Carson's machines. Dude, they're just so much more efficient, dude. They are.
Well, and that's what it ultimately comes down to is, what are you trying to focus on? Are you trying to focus on efficiency and executing the tattoo in the most efficient manner with the best quality that you can possibly muster? Or are you trying to focus on that, one tattoo on maybe utilizing a different machine and learning a different technique or applying something new? So I think it ultimately depends on what is your purpose behind that tattoo that you're working on, which to me can have a world of difference in the outcome of that tattoo, how much time it's going to take, how efficiently you're going to do it, all of that's all going to factor into it. Right. Like I'll be tattooing a friend of mine named Mark. Mark's got some of the first tattoos I ever did, outside of working on myself. He's got some of the first tattoos I've ever done, right? And I've been friends with this guy for well over 20 years. He's seen me evolve as an artist. He's seen me go through all the ups and downs of life, right? And I'll bring him in, if I want to try something out, if I want to, say, hey, I've got this new pigment I'm trying out. Shameless plug.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I'm trying here, right? I've got this new pigment I'm trying out, right? Which, by the way, they are awesome.
Woohoo.
What do you try?
Like amazing.
Premium raw pigments?
So I picked up off of a recommendation. I picked up a sample set of raw, right?
Okay.
The raw pigments, which I mean, Lauren's obviously here. She can tell you a lot more about them than I can, but she can tell you a lot more about pigments in general than I can. So, I mean, kind of goes one in one hand and 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. But yo, buttery smooth, creamy, and like, dude, it was effortless.
Dude,
It was crazy.
So
It was
that's
like
the
that. Well, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking is pigments. So I've been in the business for quite a while, and you know, we played back. You heard the term, you know, powder's louder. You know, remember back in the day, right? The shit that you had to sit 20 minutes just to get a quarter size fucking saturation.
Yeah.
That shit is still looking brand new today. You know, and that it was laid 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's funny. We have a lot of old timers who they smell the ink. They're like, wow, this reminds me of the good old days.
Yeah.
It does.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Not to like, but Rock of Ages, the powder that they sell.
Yeah, actually, he passed away recently.
Really?
Yeah, he was struggling with some health issues, but she's still. We actually supply them with their pigments.
Okay.
So they have that. Yeah.
So that's the thing is I was looking at, because I've been playing around with the idea of, you know, like I use the oh my goodness, I don't even want to throw any of the nasty shit I used to use, like iron butterfly. No, I'm just kidding. Fantasia was a good one that I used way back, but you know, I used Tens for a long time, for several years, and then I switched over to Fusions. I use Star Bright too. I mean, I think I've dabbled with every manufacturer for a long time. That's been out for a while. And then I did try, you know, the Eternal Fusions. I picked up the Russ Abbott color wheel and stuff like that, which was a pretty cool thing. I mean, it definitely helps, you know, understand your values. He broke it down really well. And then Joey Cap, Capianco, he had a thing called Easy Flow, I think was the name of his ink, that he really recommended. And I tried that, and with the recommendation of the guy who taught me how to tattoo, and I thought that stuff was water.
Yeah.
Like it went in really easy, but dude, like a year-old tattoo looked 8 years, 10 years old.
Ooh.
Same with Alla Prima. I used Alla Prima, and that was really good, but it just, which was kind of cool if you were doing for like an artistic, like old school painting that you wanted to, because I know was it Josh Carlton, I think.
Yeah.
He used that as well. And if you want that to be the look of your tattoo, that's awesome. But it didn't sit well for like new school art, you know, neo traditional. And then I picked up Solid Ink, and that's where I'm at right now.
Solid's definitely pretty good. They use kind of like some acrylic and some non, but like the Eternal, the Fusion, world famous, that's all acrylic base. That's why you get a difference in, you know, the permanency of the tattoo, you know, and how good it looks when it's going in versus how good it looks in 10 years.
Yeah, that's the thing with, like, I've had really mixed reviews when I've used Fusion, and because I know they're the same, like he's the same guy who helped Eternal get up off the ground. But I've always had a harder time. That ink has always slowed me down. It's healed fine. But when I switched over to this Solid Ink, I've had to go over some of the sleeves that was already started, you know, and I actually had to work these colors in because they were just so, I hate to use the pun, but it was more solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Better ink, better pigment dispersion. Have you ever tried tattooing with toothpaste? I mean, Waverly?
Close, dynamic.
Yeah. Well,
Stable was like that, man.
No, Waverly
Stable
is
too, yes.
Stable was
if you
thick,
had a
dude.
bucket of wet sand, right? That's roughly the equivalent of Waverly, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I love that old school color palette and the way that it's old school powder based. I do like that. And they do still have one or two colors that I will always keep on hand specifically from that company. Like Japanese pink, you can't find that anywhere else. So but it's like an obnoxious pink, to the point that people have actually told me that it It will glow under a black light. I don't know if that's the way it was designed, but it's that vibrant. But I can't use any of their other pigments. It's literally like tattooing with toothpaste.
Yeah.
It,
Like,
it's
can you imagine what that stuff feels like? You know what I mean? Someone got allergies or something like that. Next thing you know, they're got a 3D tattoo that's itching and burning from just
well,
how
And glowing.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's glowing, and it's like, why is this glowing? This doesn't seem right. No, but I mean that's old school powder based pigment, right?
yeah.
Well, that's the way he makes it, at least. Which, unless you're running a machine that's going to hammer in a 10-penny nail just to like get through it and push that color, you don't. In my opinion, you don't really need anything that thick.
So are you cutting your own? Are you mixing your own pigment? Like you're getting dry powder and you're mixing your own?
No. I mean, I've made pigments before, way back when, but I mean that was more for the learning experience behind it, as opposed to the, okay, now I'm going to use it every day kind of thing. It was
It's
to
just
help
so
teach
messy.
me. Oh my God.
Yeah, super messy.
I had to throw away a lot of clothes because, I would come home and, okay, we learned about, today we mixed green, right? Which was mind blowing, right? With just like how a tiny little bit of one little bit of an extra color completely changes the entire tone of the entire batch, right? So it was like, okay, great. But every time I would get done working in like the pigment area, I would come home and I would find powder on other clothes for weeks. It got everywhere. And it was just, it was so messy. So messy.
Well, I just didn't know if well, some people. I mean, I've heard like I was at a convention 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I asked I'm not gonna say his name, very famous black and gray artist, phenomenal black and gray artist, what he used to spend his black for his washes, Listerine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
gold
what a lot of
Listerine
them.
was used for years.
Dude, I'm not putting that in people. I'll use witch hazel maybe but I'm not. I buy mixes, man. I do because dude, last thing I want is someone to be like, like you're not a chemist, which I'm not. I mean, we got a lot of backwoods chemists out here, little bathtubs, people that might be able to mix my ink for me, but
I was gonna say, I know a chemist that works out of an RV, but that's a totally different type of chemist.
I know, yeah, right.
Yeah, I've heard of Listerine being used. I don't know how often you guys smell your inks, but even just opening up the bottles in your shelf, you'll most likely find something has like a fresh in it.
Fresh mint.
Yeah,
Well,
it's actually
usually the gold.
Yeah, or the what it is you can't really ethanol. You can't just get ethanol because people could make it into alcohol because there's got to be something like the eucalypti in there for. I mean, I'm not saying Listerine, but like for other stuff that you would smell that fresh smell in, the eucalypti is like just barely in there to give it that, and it gives it that smell.
I thought, I honestly, I thought he was just screwing with me, when he said that. He's like, yeah, man, I washed it down with Listerine. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude, man. Like, you want to tell me, you don't have to tell me, but so.
No, that's 100% true. I used to know a guy that worked about an hour away from here. Brilliant guy, was tattooing for 25, 30 years, knew everything about machines, pigments, you name it. And he would keep a small little Nalgene bottle on the side of his station, and it was filled with 50/50 gold Listerine and distilled water. And that's what he would use to break down and suspend his gray washes every single time. And I mean, it worked beautifully for him, and it holds those pigment particles, and it disperses it, perfectly even. So that as you're getting your wash, it is a perfectly even saturated tone. Brilliant, right? When he told me that, I was like, all right, well, I'm never doing that. So what else can I do? You know, because like I can't do that, but I can understand the principle behind it. Right.
Yeah, so I've always, I've always done the whole drop, one drop of, depending on how I wanted to, how I want to see it when it's in this. I mean, essentially, when it all heals out roughly the same way they use white, brown, red to give it a little. I've actually been using 1 drop of white, then 2 drops and 3 drops of white in my mix up, and I've noticed not that it heals better, it's just that it the redness and like the ultra light, like the extra light tones, that white mixed in there really pushes the redness down, so you actually get to see. And I have noticed that, and the guy actually I was talking earlier about, one of my friends is going to be probably hopping on hopefully one of these weeks to be drawing with us. He or at least chatting with us. He's going out and buying Empire, like their whole big monster set. And actually, someone in here, I forget who it was.
I actually used to own Empire for a while. I just left for Raw, so I've got a nice background information on what you're talking about with the whitewash.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is they have a supply. Well, somebody in here actually did a movie cinema where it took all the hues, like all color, like swatches that were in there.
Yeah, like a digital value scale, maybe.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've seen that. Empire actually has their own little scale as well, and which is pretty cool. Yeah, but he was showing me that, and I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. And I know Jake actually reviewed the whitewash set, but I was interested in it, and I'm always trying to better my everything. I mean, I personally love doing color. Mostly I do black.
Like, the black and gray, the gray wash versus the whitewash, you can actually, we actually have a set too with Raw, but I usually recommend using a mix of both in your tattoos, depending on the transparent shadows or the highlights.
Yeah.
For added depth.
But that's the other thing is I tried to get a hold of them. I emailed them because if I'm going to get it, I don't know the difference between some of the artist sets as opposed to like their set.
Yeah, it's a custom label. So like the David Vega, he has a transparent gray wash set, but it's the same exact formula as the gray wash.
Okay, that was my main question. You know what I mean? Because if you look if you go like with Solid, they have a Chris Garver set.
Yeah,
but those are actually slightly different pigments. And they actually like his greens. He has a little bit more of a Japanese style.
Yeah, totally.
Which is, I mean, that's his style. But I mean, which is pretty good because I mean, it works with some of the old traditional colors, like color palettes. If you're doing old Sailor Jerry type, that Japanese color actually works pretty well with it. But anyways, I tried to contact him, and that was like last week, and I haven't heard anything back. So
hey, if you want, I can send you some colors and some of our stuff too, anytime, just because you're talking to me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whitewash is nice. You got the consistency in it. I always recommend those little vortex things to have on hand with the whitewash. The little, you put your ink on it and it shakes the crap out of it. Those are nice. With the whitewash, it's a must have, honestly.
Dude,
really?
We have a couple. I thought about throwing them up on our website, but like with the colors, you don't have to do that, or they never get dry. But yeah, that whitewash is it's a bitch.
I got one of those vortex mixers. Game changer.
You have to have it, honestly, guys. It's like you could get one for like $60 to $100 on Amazon.
Or you got one for $60. It's rechargeable, battery operated, portable. This thing does everything except for massage your feet after a long day. Great.
Thanks.
Yep, they are nice.
Let me show you my concept. I wish it was here, but I took it home last night because I had a custom wood. I had to buy a countertop, and I had a shape it. But so here was my concept. All right, you got yourself a little sawzall right here. Yeah, a little cord running off the back. It was nice. And then what I did is I actually welded a cup, so like a little cup with a stem, and I turned it into a flathead so this would receive it. And then I welded 2 little bars off it, and then I hooked a rubber band in between it, and then I put my ink bottles in here. And then I just shook the shit out of it. My wife goes, dude, because I'm always up at the shop. We have a ton of steel, a ton of engine parts. And I like to make stuff. It's like steampunk stuff. And she goes, you were a cheap bastard. They're online for like $100. We just put them in a little vortex thing you're talking about. She goes, you were a cheap bastard. I'm like, yeah, maybe I am, but it works. It works really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, we put marbles in the whitewash. I think we have 2 in them. I don't know how much mixing really needs to be done, but like 1 or 2 is, and that thing, the combination, you're good in like 5 seconds.
So I'm actually waiting to with one of the ones that have a marble, I'm waiting to shatter that marble because I mean that solves really going. And I'm just waiting for it to shatter and explode. So I aim it away, I aim it at the ground every time all right, shoot, I'm starting to get blown up here. Next time is 11. Almost 11. All right.
Almost 11.
Yeah.
We've got a couple new people in here.
Hello.
Who can we see? You want to unmute yourself?
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you? Just wanted to say hi. I saw that you hopped in a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I just
Kirsten.
What's up, dude?
I just got into the shop. So
You are you paying attention to all of this, Kirsten? Because this is important stuff.
yeah, no, it's very good information. Yeah.
Lauren, I'm actually gonna message you. So you can send me some info on the wash.
And the
because
colors too. If you're a color guy, for sure, I think you'll like them.
Yeah, no, I'm always, dude. There's always something better. I always know there is. So,
What's the name of
All right.
the website?
Yeah, Lauren. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
I'd like
I
to
want to
check
be
those
plugging
out.
all day, but yeah, we source pigments, so we've been in the industry for quite a bit of time. Powder pigments, Fantasia, different companies like that.
Cool. Premium Hall Pigments. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. My site.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask you if you had heard of raw pigments.
I haven't. I'm
Yeah.
always on the lookout for
So
this stuff, especially black and gray stuff.
yeah, we specialize in color development, and that's a big thing I've learned since living Empire, because I was just blacks. So color development comes into play when you're talking about the phases of that the pigment goes through in order to get that final product. It's not just a high-speed mix. Formulations change, everything changes. So I've gotten a really good manufacturing education in the last several months with color.
Cool.
Seeing the differences in how it plays out.
So, Lauren, like I'm interested because Jay, you were there. We were talking with Guy, and he was mentioning about how the United States are going to be putting their 2 cents in on what we can get for pigment.
Yeah, they are. Wow, this is something that I'd actually, I think I'm going to be hosting a business meeting on March 16th, I believe it was, with all of us talking about stuff like that with business owners around the world. Because like Jason and I have found, you could go on forever. What's happening in Europe is very serious, and it's been happening for a long time, over a decade. But what you're seeing now is they won't even look at any blue and green pigments, for CTL licensing. They are phasing out the use of these colors by 2023. Those colors aren't, the phthalo blue and the phthalo green can't be used. But us, a nice thing that we've been doing quite a bit of research in is to sourcing other pigments and having them tested. It's a long process. We found a handful of alternatives. It's not that phthalo blue, phthalo green, but yeah, when if you hear Mario or different sources talk about it, there's a big meeting in 2018 in Switzerland with a bunch of different people, scientists, chemists, CTS was there and stuff like that. But the FDA was also there from the United States. So I guess it could be speculation, but they may adopt those European policies.
Oh man.
But nothing, I mean, right now the FDA is like their GMP is, if you're a company and you're not following that GMP, then you should probably want to take another look at yourself, because for safety of your artists, that's number one. But there's no FDA regulation really right now.
Yeah. Back in the day, they used to have arsenic. I won't name the company, but
terrible.
No, they had heavy metals in some of them. In fact, I still have some of it in my leg.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one.
Yeah, well, I guarantee I'm not. I
But
don't
yeah,
understand how you gotta. I mean, with you know what, like you said, there hasn't really been anyone regulating, um, like our industry at all. But if you look at the quality of tattooing, where it's come, that's self-driven. That's driven by, you know what I mean? We didn't have to get better. We got better. We wanted better products for our customers, or like our clients, which drove, you know, ink manufacturers to use, you know, more better products, better, you know, supplies.
Yeah, and the thing is that you guys all, like, just in the room right now, you have maybe thousands of, you know, actual studies of using this, where you're seeing how it goes in, how it heals, how it reacts, and you're not seeing those problems that they're addressing. So it's I guess it's alarming and concerning. At one point, you know, if you spoke to Guy, Gabe, Guy, and I last week, we were almost ready to stand up and alert the masses, because there is some alarming stuff happening in the U.S. You know, behind the scenes. I am all for regulation, but I'm not for the type of regulation that changes or that doesn't preserve what we have right now, you know, in the industry. If if it means taking out pigments that maybe shouldn't be taken out, or, you know, changing formulas. Sure. Like if you look at a great case study in Brazil, I mean, I don't know if any of you have heard of how difficult it is to get any pigment that's not electric ink into Brazil.
I've heard about, I've talked to some people online about stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a different, yeah, it has to have a certain type of composition.
Yeah.
You know, to be approved by their Anvisas, the FDA of Brazil.
That's fucking nuts.
So yeah, I would hate to see something like that happen here, where it has any negative impact on some of the smaller companies that are really, you know, they don't want to be a huge company, or this is what they love, and maybe people can't use that anymore.
Dude, that blood pigment looks freaking. That's the color I'm digging it there.
Yeah, I was talking to Jake on the stream when he was on, and if you guys had a liquid sample at any point, you could send it to me, and we can make a match. You know, that's stuff like that is our forte.
Nice.
I don't want to get too aside from the point from your guys' drawing. I could talk forever.
Well, you're passionate about it, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, join us for that that Zoom on March 16th. We'll make some more info on it.
Cool.
Probably like
March
in the app and
16th.
stuff. Yeah.
We'll do that.
Under that shit.
Well, I'm gonna write that down on my calendar, but I gotta take off, guys. My appointment's gonna be here pretty soon. So
Awesome.
March 16th?
Nice to meet all
March
you
16th.
guys.
We'll put it in the app, in the events.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy, y'all.
Take care, bud.
Yeah, actually, I gotta pop. Oh, I'm supposed to be out by 11 o'clock. It is 11, so.
Boo.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, if you guys are ready to wrap up, we can get to
Jay.
that and check out your
Yeah.
drawing progress before we go.
Yeah, Jay, I want you to sympathize for me, buddy. This is due tomorrow.
Yeah.
Full sleeve, concept design. This is the only thing she wants to keep, like in its original. I'm gonna change a little bit, like, you know, but I'll keep she really wants the woman not like touched. So I'm gonna keep switch these up a little bit. And then the flow of the rest. Yeah, I have this till tomorrow. I was given it last Thursday, but I've been like all weekend, man. I had to spend some time with the family. It's been like, aside from working, I mean, I work and then I was back to the house, you know. Sometimes I'm spending too much time working and up at the garage, welding and cutting and working on cars, and get spent
That's the
time.
life of an artist, right?
Yeah. Well, if I'm sitting home, I feel like I'm like, I'm up at 6 a.m. If I'm up at 8 a.m., I felt like I just got robbed of my day.
Right.
You know, but if I'm sitting at the house, I'm literally going nuts. I have to be doing something. So
That's awesome.
Now, Eric, real quick before you go, are you you're an RAT subscriber, right?
I don't think I am.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm subscribed, but I don't think I'm a paid subscriber. That's why I was wondering, because my buddy JD was, you know, and he goes, "Hey, how much is it?" I'm like, I haven't paid anything, but not that I wouldn't, because I mean, it's so.
We can send you the info if you're interested. They have really cool, I know Jason can attest and probably go on longer than I, but really cool subscriber exercises. Guys been adding to the canon, guest artists.
Yep.
There's the courses now. I'm not sure if they've launched it yet through the online course and the media included, but it's super cool. A lot of new content.
Because I have the Reinventing, the DVDs, like the originals.
Oh, okay.
And the secondary one, and so does JD. And I'm like, dude, it's not quite like that, dude. These are a bunch of artists. I mean, it's what we've needed for a long time, dude.
It is.
Oh yeah.
No, because I mean, for me, I'm Jay. I don't know about you, but I mean, I've been in my own studios. I've got spotted. I've worked with other artists briefly, but mostly I've been on my own since the start. It's how I work. So I've never had that shop camaraderie where like, hey man, take a look at this, or it's just I've been driven. I've always looked at other people's art. I've always compared mine to them. Find out, and this was an exercise I've learned when I was a kid. Is you look at your art, you compare it to something that's way better and way worse, and then you find out what major is better and what major is worse.
Right.
And I still do that on every single one of my tattoos, ever, period, hands down. I did it like the other night. I had a big 11-inch like thigh piece, and I did it and I let it leave before I really gave it the old 10-minute stare at. And when I got home, I looked at the picture and I'm like, what did I do with that wrist? Because it looks like the wrist is all like jacked up and shit in the tattoo, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But thankfully, it's just a shading issue. I can soften that hard edge. You know what I mean? It looks like it's got a broken wrist bone. But I look at every single one of my tattoos and like really, really criticize my own work.
So I would definitely recommend taking a look at getting a subscription to the RIT Canon. It's all of the information in those DVDs, right? And Guy's literally been going back through and rewriting chapters. He's got people guest writing chapters. Not to like shamelessly plug or anything, but I'll be doing a whole section on Procreate.
Mr. Jason Leeser.
What?
No, I'm saying like that's awesome. He's really excited about the new content coming out.
Yeah, I've been spending more time. So I've been doing a lot of like screen recordings and doing everything I used to do for a higher education university as far as like digital educational content with like putting focus effects in there and calling people's attention to certain areas, the whole nine. As a little rough, concept, I had a meeting last week with a couple of guys. Ricardo, Kirsten was there, and a few other people. Bruno was there. And I went through my whole process of using the iPad for a full sleeve layout, right? So it might be something you might want to look into. I'll be posting that up in the subscribers section. So might be something that, you might be interested in. But I know there's far more useful content in that subscribers area than even I know about.
I just looked at the subscribers pricing for the year on that. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, less than $1 a day.
So I have to run it by the old lady, but she I don't even own my business anymore. Like,
yeah,
it's better this way. You know what I mean? Like, I just give, the money goes directly into that. If it's a cash, it goes directly to her, and then I get a paycheck, and then the business gets the rest.
Hey man, if it's what keeps her happy, do it.
Actually, the business has never been better.
Good.
Like the business, not me. I'm still upset, but but no, the business, and that's essentially what it is. You know what I mean? So
right.
I have to
take
retire.
A look, dude. Worth every penny of the investment, man. 100%. I was skeptical when I got it because I still got the second edition. I've got a lot of other content from a lot of other places. I was skeptical at first. I was like, all right, let's take a look. With the stuff he's been adding in since, even in the past 3 months, it's worth 3 times what he's charging for.
And the subscriber exercises have been really cool to be. They have
That's
them every
been more
Monday.
helpful than anything else, man. The access to that alone is worth the price.
Yeah, they're every Monday night at 9 Eastern, I believe. But
Correct.
they're super. I mean, that's what is it, Melissa? You're still working on, and yeah, let's show you what you're working on again.
Yeah, I'm still working on the final from
Oh, you've made some progress.
2 weeks ago.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roses don't take me a whole lot, but this through here was the bulk of it. Just getting all the textures and all the lighting and stuff right. And I don't usually work with pencil. I usually work with charcoal if I do a dry medium.
Okay.
So this is
Beautiful.
this is something that I wanted to throw out. If when you get done your final project, should you decide you want to make prints from it, let me know. For
yeah,
people that are part
absolutely.
of like these Monday night exercise groups,
That's
and
awesome.
I don't know how well you can actually see it, but I've got my nice large format Epson sitting right back there, and a couple of really nice rolls of heavy duty watercolor texture, archival, museum quality, et cetera, paper. And it's something that I'm offering up to like all the subscribers for, exercises and whatnot. I've offered it to Ricardo, Bruno, a whole bunch of other people. If you want a print or two made of your final project to hang up in the studio, let me know, scan it, email me the file. I'll print it off and mail it back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not envying those for that hair. That's the worst, dude. I hate hair.
I'm not a fan of faces, dude. Human faces are like the bane of my existence, man.
No, I love faces. I love hands. I love noses. I hate hair. Screw hair. Just why can't I do portraits of bald people? Man.
I mean, hey, that could be a new style, right?
Right. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
No. I only do bald people. I'm sorry.
I'd take my hat off, but I'd be freaking putting a secondary shadow or a secondary light source on her picture. All right, guys, I gotta go.
Have a good one, man.
Jay, I'll see you Sunday.
Sounds good.
All right, bud. Later.
All right. Take
Hey,
care.
Eric. Hey, send me a message in the app.
Oh, will do.
Okay. How's your progress, Allie?
Very slow.
Working on the gauntlet.
I am.
Yeah.
Hey.
There you go. Got some foreground background interaction. Nice texture. I like those oranges.
It's my first time trying to do anything that was like bio-organic, which was the only thing I could think of to go with the gauntlet. So I'm been playing with a lot of different brushes in Procreate to just kind of see what textures come up. So that's been really fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, textures are quite often very difficult to create in using Procreate and Photoshop and all that stuff. I've kind of figured out a way to go through and do it using basically just like a sketching brush.
Right.
So I'll take a sketching brush and I'll make it like a nice medium size. This works for like a soft or a medium hard, like round airbrush as well.
Okay.
Drop your opacity all the way down to like 10%.
Gotcha.
Right. And then as you can see over on this little area, right, you'll start out, well, let's go a little bit higher. So, and literally I have my pressure sensitivity so that as I press, it's going to get bigger.
Okay.
Right. Every time. I guess it helps if I'm using a darker color, right? So that way you can actually see it.
There it is.
Yep. So, and as I'm going through, I'm just doing like random dots here and there. Right? Using the pressure that I applied to create a variation in those spaces. And as you go through and build over top of each other, it's going to create almost like a pitted look. I'll go in with my blender and just kind of blend it out from wherever I want that light source to be.
Right.
Right. And then that'll kind of create that little bit of a almost like a pitted, rigid texture.
That's awesome.
You know, it's like one little quick kind of texture hack.
It's far easier than the way I did it.
You know, because then you get multiple layers of like texture.
Right.
Because light's going to be hitting different things at different levels.
Right.
So, and those shadows are going to be cast at different strengths based on how intense that the light is in that specific area. So by doing it this way and just kind of keeping it nice and loose and then just blending out from those harder shadow areas, it takes a lot of the guesswork out.
Yeah, it does. That's awesome.
That's how I did like all of the texture in the background here.
Okay, yeah.
That was all using the same kind of method, right? And it's still pretty blurry. Nothing's really that defined. But the
Right.
more you zoom out, because I want that behind the gauntlet, I don't want a whole lot of definition in it.
Right.
Because I want that to maintain its out of focus aspect to allow the gauntlet to come into focus, right? Because that's more in the middle ground. So we want our primary emphasis on that. All of this stuff here, all of the green mossy stuff, that's all done using the same method in different levels and different layers, right? And once again, I'm going to keep that kind of vague. So if you zoom in on it, it literally just looks like green little dots and shapes.
Oh, wow.
Think of like pointillism, and you're building up the intensity of that highlight as you're going through, right?
Right. That makes
So
total sense.
if I wanted to build off of this with like a more muted but paler green, yeah, that'll work. You know, maybe I'll bring my brush opacity up a tiny bit more, but I could go through. That's right, that layer's in front, so that's.
Jason, do you usually work that zoomed in?
Not usually. I
Okay.
usually try to keep a much further, a much more distant view,
Okay.
right? So that way I can try to keep everything in perspective. If I'm
Gotcha.
going through and detailing things like highlights, fixing up outlines, getting some texture blends in there, like micro texture, micro detail, I'll zoom way in on it.
Okay.
But otherwise, I usually try to stay, you know, pretty far out, but still zoomed in enough where I can really see what I'm doing.
Awesome.
You know, and I'm just blending this out, and you know, it's giving me like another level of highlighted texture in this area. Right? And I zoom and pan and rotate all the time in every direction you can think of, because that's going to give me a better overall idea of how is this shape? Is this shape the way that shape is? How's my light source? Is that consistent if I'm looking at it upside down? You know, does it look like it's coming from this direction now as opposed to this direction? You know, and just from looking at it this way, I can tell you I'm going to be getting rid of these little highlight areas on the rivets of the gauntlet down here, right?
Right.
Because I don't have a highlight hitting that spot. You know, I can tell you that I probably put these highlights here in the wrong spot, because it looks like my light is coming more from this direction as opposed to over here where those highlights are coming from. So I'm going to go back through and readjust that. You know, so I pinch, zoom, rotate. I will move it around whatever way I need to make sure that it's got the right composition, the right light source, and the right look. But yeah, I usually, when I'm working, I usually stay zoomed out at a pretty medium distance, unless I'm going through and I'm creating like texture or detailing. Then I'll zoom in.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Super helpful.
Yeah, who else do we still have in here? Kirsten, Gabe, Lauren. Gabe's in here twice. Me, you, Melissa. Cool. Nice small little group. No, I think everyone's muted except for me. Yeah, laugh it up, Kirsten. Laugh it up. I can see you.
That's funny. I forgot I was muted. I can see you laughing too.
Don't you laugh at me. Why? Because I'm funny looking? Is that it?
No, I didn't realize that everybody was on mute. I'll join you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm regularly on mute because my background noise is pretty loud most of the
Is
time.
whack. So I'm here, I can hear, but I can't hear and talk easily. I don't even know if you can hear me now.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we got you.
I can barely hear you. Anyways, Kirsten, thank you for making the thumbnails. They are awesome, but I can't hear what you're saying because, like I said, I'm not working. So anyways, I'm not really here. I'm just listening, and it's all fantastic. Thank you. And I'm back to listening and not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually. Can you hear me now? Am I okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually working on them now. Just changing them up so that we don't get in trouble for copyright. And then I'm actually clipping videos while we're talking now, so trying to catch up. That's
Right on, right on.
And then I'm doing the exercise thing. Hold on, I don't know if I'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going in actually a few minutes. I gotta start laundry.
That
go
looks
food
really nice.
shopping. Yeah, I'm just detailing now and adding some highlights to the gauntlet. Probably go
I
back
was
through
actually,
and add some rough
Kirsten just
spots.
held hers up. Can you hold it up one
Oh.
more time? Oh,
Hers always looks nice. That's a
it
good one.
does. Hold it up again.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that looks really
There you
nice.
go.
I went more simple now, Jason. I didn't try to make
That's
like the
awesome.
thing on the planet. Because this is my second attempt at it. The first time
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and make like the illest thing on the planet. It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. And it ended
Now,
up being
keep it simple.
like a compositional flaw.
Keep it simple. And remember, it's a study on color. It's not a study on composition. It's not a study on focus or texture. All we're really going to be looking at is color, how we're using color, complements of color, contrasting color, and color dynamics. You know, I mean, yeah, having a nice composition is great, but that's going to be secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, we learned that one with the last one, so we're here now. And then I
Just try to focus on what the assignment is, you know?
Yeah. Oh, wait, we should talk about daylight savings. That's next week, right? Or the week after?
Next Sunday.
So the reinventing stuff is going to be an hour later or earlier.
So we move our clocks ahead an hour, so it's going to feel like it's an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Right? But it's actually going to be at this same time because the actual time it's held, it doesn't really change.
Oh. Okay, you're right. You're right.
9 p.m. is going to be 9 p.m., but since we're moving our clocks forward an hour, it's going to feel like it's 8 p.m.
Yeah, because like I still have that composition class and it starts like 7 p.m. Eastern time, not Eastern time, Pacific time. So
Okay.
I have to make sure I have all my classes in order.
That's what, 4? No, that's 10 p.m.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it'll start at 11. So I'll actually be able to finish the reinventing stuff. So that's cool.
Right on.
Class back to back for the love of the game.
That's the way it goes.
But yeah. Let me see here. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I'm doing pretty good over here, if you can hear me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you, were you here for the Equinox chat or to see that video? Anybody?
I was not.
Yeah, it was just, oh man, it's going to be an incredible time.
Yeah, that's on the 20th, right?
On the 20th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Okay.
I actually have a projector up in my basement that I haven't really broken in yet. So I'm gonna have a couple friends, not too many, but a couple people over and have fun with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a projector.
Yeah, I found one in Epson that is just it's so convenient when you want to do anything, you know, like to cast from HDMI on any device, hook up streaming videos. It's pretty cool. Works great for my kids too.
See, I would use it for like a Mario Kart championship.
Hey, that too. We use it for like just dance and stuff like that.
Just have like a bunch of bean bags and go at it with Mario Kart.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so, no. That sounds like a whole heck of a fun.
Yep.
So is everybody working on the thing for tonight?
I think so.
Seems like it. Lauren, what are you working? Can't really
Me?
see.
Yeah, because I haven't wanted to turn my camera on. I've got some issues with the software. It's like making it look all crazy, so I haven't turned it on. But I'm actually just working on some stuff for Raw and hosting the stream for Reinventing. I live in Wisconsin, so I'm not sure where you guys are at. I know Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin. That's awesome.
Yeah, what about you?
I'm from Eastern Massachusetts. No, Western Massachusetts. I always get that mixed up. I don't know where I live. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah, I was just doing my thing here. I don't know if you see those lines a lot in the Zoom or not. Can't figure that out.
It gives it a cool effect, so I'm digging it.
Yeah, but I hooked it up to my camera, so you know, maybe Jason, you can relate to some of those annoying struggles.
Oh yeah.
Let me just tell you.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
all about those struggles.
I've got my Sony connected to the Elgato capture card.
Okay.
And actually they released one in September. I don't know if you have the HD60S Plus. It's easier with the OBS to work. But something is making it not right. So I was a little frustrated with it. But yeah, I wanted to share the Equinox party before we guys all get out. Gabe made a really cool promo for it. I just couldn't get the sound to connect. So see if it's
Whoa.
Gosh, the sound is so much better. Look at you, Jason. Yeah, check out the link on YouTube, you guys, because I have a tech difficulty getting it to connect. It's going to be incredible.
That's going to be sick.
What?
That's what I said. So we're gonna have a couple different groups. The way it's set up, we'll have a hangout room and then one for the music. So it'll be a really cool and unique experience.
I'm hyped with a capital H.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. I was playing around with some little things. Do you use OBS at all, Jason, when you live stream?
No, not usually.
Yeah, you can
Usually
add
I
like
just
lower
use
thirds
Minicam. I'm like the bare minimum, like base essentials. I like to say that I have what I like to refer to as the budget setup.
Okay.
Right. So I'm just using my old digital SLR and a webcam and running everything through Minicam.
Okay.
And then that just outputs it as a webcam. So works well enough. I don't really do a whole lot of like webcasting unless it's Sundays and Mondays. So
okay.
It works for its purpose.
Yeah, I like it because it's not, I mean, stuff that you can add to it. For example, I need to change it, but I added my logo and a little thing on it, if you can see that.
That's
You
so
see my name?
neat.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
any.
Yeah. A little lower third action going on.
yeah. Or like, you know, before you're hosting something, you could have a loaded video or image.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty easy to use.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I actually made so the little Philly ink moniker that you'll see on right below my video. I just
Yeah.
made that as a PNG file in Photoshop real quick, threw it together, loaded it up to Manycam and added that in as a separate layer. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's cool. That's a good
so you
idea.
can add like multiple layers of multiple things. I think in one of the video demos I did, I had like 3 separate webcams going in Manycam to capture my beautiful face from every angle possible, right? So you can really go nuts with it and add, tons of different layers and webcams and graphics and lower thirds and virtual backgrounds and all kinds of fun stuff. And for a budget price, it's not professional grade software, tends to run your computer pretty high, but it does what it needs to do for what I'm trying to use it for. And it was a very quick, easy solution. So it was like, all right, cool. This is quick. If I want to upgrade later, I can do that, and I'll take a look at more professional software. But for now,
Yeah.
this is quick, it's easy, and it'll work.
Yeah,
Done.
for sure. OBS is free if you ever do get into it. I'm gonna check out
Really?
your stuff too. Yeah, OBS has a free stuff. What was I gonna say? Your setup looks awesome though.
I mean, hey, it works well for me.
I watched a video on YouTube that you guys put up recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, about your setup.
Yeah.
That was
I think
awesome.
that was
Good information.
Was that last Sunday or last Monday? One of the two. But yeah, that was a quick little short and dirty kind of version of what I have going on. And it works well. It's
Yeah.
my area
it's
is
super
usually
helpful.
kind of
It's super
messy and
intimidating.
chaotic.
Mhm.
But it's got the overhead shot coming down. It's got the webcam shot coming straight forward. I usually have
Yeah.
plenty of light source, so that's usually a very key thing. And
You can,
it works.
You can set up some scenes in OBS. So like you can set up a scene for each camera. And then if you wanted, while you're tattooing, if you wrap your phone, you can download the free app to do a stream deck. So you can switch, click, 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 or you can set them on a timer. So that way you can say, oh, I'll run this, I'll transition after 15 minutes or, 5 minutes, and maybe set up like a sort of schedule that way. But otherwise, if you have the app, you can switch between scenes just with the click of a little button.
I may have to do that.
But yeah, it's crazy what the difference the 1 year has made. I actually, Gabe was the one who taught me how to do all this last year when I started to get to know him a little bit, and it's a lot of time invested and a lot of heartache, and you're like wanting to shake your computer. Why doesn't this work? At least for me, connecting a camera has been pretty difficult with the audio and matching everything up with that way.
Yeah, I picked up a few little tips and tricks when I was working for university that generally tended to help quite a bit. The biggest one that always helped me out was don't panic. Things are going to go wrong. Things are not going to work sometimes. Don't panic. Don't worry. You can figure it out. You've got this. You know what you're doing. Just take it in stride and you'll be just fine. That little bit of like reassurance that like, okay, I'm going to figure this out real quick and it'll be all right. Usually that alone has been a godsend. Well, and that's true in just about any situation, if you look at it. As long as you don't panic, you'll be all right. But when you panic and you start to freak out, that's when usually things start to fall apart. And then everything gets fixed and you're like, oh, that really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had a couple issues a couple times with the streaming. We had a really cool tattoo collecting podcast on Thursday. Did you guys catch any of that? It was like a bio event.
I started to. I always like to listen to those like as they're live.
Yeah.
Just because when it's live, it's unedited. You never know what they're gonna say.
It's the energy. It feels cool.
Yeah.
That was a fun
one. there's a really well-known collector around me that I'd love to actually talk to them to see if they're interested in jumping in on one of the podcasts. His name is Robert Wise. He's been around for quite a long time. He's been tattooed by like 60 of the world's best artists.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, everyone too. He has a lot of realism on him. Shane O'Neill, Bob Tyrell, Chris Blinston, Nico Hurtado's tattooed him a few times. Tom Renshaw did a piece on his leg. Horiyoshi the 3 tattooed some waves on his thigh. He's got an eclectic collection.
They'd
from
probably
all
love to
over.
hear from him.
Yeah, phenomenal work too. He's got some work done by a guy named TB from Hungary. And it's just, he's got some incredible work.
Cool.
But he's getting a little bit older now, and he's not really trying to do too much, but I'd love to talk to him just to see if he'd be interested.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable setting, with those guys, and it's kind of refreshing, that type of conversation. So, yeah, that'd be great. You'd probably be surprised at how you can share that type of information these days in Zoom.
Oh yeah.
And I really like the aspect and the dynamic of having the artists there with the collectors. That was super unique. Ty and Brian.
Yeah.
Adam.
Well, I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
They're all super talented, and they all have great input and great information. And
yeah.
Yeah, but I am actually going to get rolling out of here in just a second. Got to start taking care of business for the day. Got to sit down, get tomorrow's tattoo drawn up. So it's going to be an interesting, fun-filled, busy day today. Yay!
All right, you guys. I'm actually hosting the screen today. So
Yay.
Whenever we're all ready to disconnect, I'll end with the roll of the equinox video, and hopefully see you on Sunday.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, nice to meet everybody who I haven't met before. Allie and Kristen.
It was good to meet you.
Yeah. Cool. And Melissa, I've met you when I was with Empire a little bit. I spoke to you a couple of times through VTG. I've always liked how active you are within Reinventing. That's awesome.
I try. Sometimes it's harder than others.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not gone unnoticed. We'll say that. Okay. All right. Roll the clip, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Take care.